apple, morning's fresh start. And sipping Winkle always plays his part. Cupcakes, quarter cruising by. Ross dogs, broken spirits staying high and dry. Articulate John, still feeling hazy. Am I still drunk? This morning's crazy. Dead Fool's here, repping strong. Happy Gosling, tagging along. Joey C, in the morning with Lou, where the chat is buzzing and the crew is true. From wild tales to jokes untold, this morning's show was pure gold. Ross Dog shouting, Keith Moreland's the man. Chris Mack asks Joey heard about Aaron's plan. Ref agree with the classic call. No B, no green, echoing through the hall. Crumb says Hawk, Arnie's here to stay. Cupcakes corner, cruising all the way. Ryan A's got the jokes making the rounds. Imran Khan and his pot smoking sound. Joey C, in the morning with Lou, where the chat is buzzing and the crew is true. From wild tales to jokes untold, this morning's show was pure gold. Luke of the Bind with a cryptic note. Quad can't mend in a clash they wrote. Happy Gosling's got the Greendale beef, while Ross Dog spins stories like a true chief. Space Chief clouds by with flames and fire. Am I still drunk? This morning's crazy. Do the Arnold impression one more time. This morning show's in its prime. Joey C, in the morning with Lou, where the chat is buzzing and the crew is true. From wild tales to jokes untold, this morning's show is pure gold. So grab your coffee, don't be late. Joey C and Lou, they set the date. With laughs and vibes, they'll make your day. Joey C in the morning with Lou, here to stay.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? This is the morning show with Joey C, CC Joe, Joey Diamonds, and the big Lou the God, Big Blue Lou. What's happening, Lou?
Good morning, open source mic you're on.
What? I'm on the wrong mic?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Just an FYI. How are you today, brother?
Oh, I'm feeling a little better, man. I had a rest, man. I guess I got it.
Your day was rough because you don't sleep.
Well, I've been sleeping. I slept 7 hours last night. So.
7 hours?
Well,
Jeez.
I slept all during the day. I mean, I took a lot of naps and I rested, but I'm talking about when I got down to going to bed last night. I went to bed about 7 hours, maybe 7.5 hours. But I think the main thing is, though, I the day before, when was it, Monday when we were on the air, I lost my voice again because I did so much yelling, you know. But I do got a lot of encouragement from friends and fans that tell me, do it for us. Drink water, stay away from soda. And they're right. Water it is.
I've been telling you to stay away from the soda, but you don't listen.
I don't listen to nobody. I know. That's my problem. What's going on, man? Today's a big day. We got to talk. We're talking about the beans today. We're going to tell the, as everybody knows that most of that was all the work. There was no arrest. There was no money. There was none of that. But we do have stuff that was true in that incident that, we will talk about. When I see my man here, we're going to talk about that sometime in the show. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Chad don't do the weather today. It's Wednesday.
He's at work. He put it in the chat already.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yeah, he's a good man. So is Mike. Mike, internet provider, shitty internet provider. Great guy. They're all good guys. Everybody's a good guy. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning to all the chatters.
Once again, Bobby, I sent you a link. Pop in if you want, buddy.
Yes. So what's going on, big boy? What'd you do yesterday?
Nothing.
Nothing. Waivers here.
Jason did his show, so I popped on his show.
What show was that?
The Get Off My Couch or Burn My Fucking Couch, whatever. It was just the couch.
Burn My Couch. You don't even fucking know the name of it.
Whatever his name is on that couch.
Yes, we gotta wait. We're gonna wait for Red Bug League. Of course we are. That's all for him. Did it for him.
The bean story is for him. He paid his money.
Yes.
I do have an announcement. If I do busting balls, it can't be done until about 6 p.m.
Why is that?
The wife is working, and I got
really?
Wife.
Oh, so you mean you should be sleeping?
No, she's not sleeping. She's working. She's
Oh,
about to start work, so I can push the morning show. I'm fine with the morning show, but I don't want to test the waters with her.
uh-huh.
So
So should be so I'm lost
she
here. You're
gets off
moving.
my work at 6.
Okay.
So if
So
I do it, I can do it anything around 5:30 onward.
okay, all right. So in other words, she works from home then, is what you're saying.
Yes, my wife has always worked from home.
Okay, so that clears that up for me because so in other words, you're being respectful for her to do her work, and you don't want to be yelling and screaming and playing
Yes,
with your internet buddies. All right, I got you. I got you. That's
but
very well.
the morning show seems to be a lot tamer than when we get into those grooves with busting balls.
All right. Well, busting balls is going to be a classic, so I think we should. Now is this going to be a permanent thing? Are we going to take this to a permanent thing or?
That's the good question. I won't know yet.
Okay. Well, did you notice that? I don't know if you guys seen it. I put the first episode of the Walk and Talk back up,
Well, you said
starting
October 1st. Why is it September 29th?
because it's a Monday, September
Oh,
30th.
okay, but
The
you
first
know
is a
that
Tuesday.
you're gonna still be dealing with
Yeah,
humidity.
yeah. I'll be all right. 7 o'clock. I mean, it ain't gonna be that bad. It ain't gonna be that bad. It'll be there, but not nowhere near July and August. So
My friend, this is Florida. The humidity
yes.
don't the
Oh
humidity
yeah,
don't
we
really
know.
go away until December.
We know it's Florida, crap Florida. We know it is. We know it is.
Shitty
Crap Florida.
internet. It's not about being p-whipped. It's about giving her respect. You know, she's her job handles all the bills. So
Yes. Breadwinner, the breadwinner. She's the breadwinner. Well, what happened to today? You were supposed to be Lou the God, not the great jack o' lantern. What happened to that theory?
I was gonna give you that, but you decided to have me go dolo wolo. So
No, I just said that I was
you
up.
were
I let
gonna.
you know I was up. But then when I went, I didn't reboot the computer. I didn't turn it down yesterday, so I shut it down. And then the camera came on. It just had to pick up everything again. So
Your computer needs help.
yeah, it needs a little. Well, it's. I think I got a lot of it cleaned up. Like I said, I rested a lot yesterday. I spoke with. I text with a couple people, and the key is this: the water. He's right. I do notice when I drank water, straight water, for those 4 months, I was fine. I was getting really better.
You got to drink water every once in a while. I would admit to that.
Well, for me, it's got to be all the time because here's the deal. Here's the deal. Um, uh, if I drink any type of sugar, obviously, it's just basically, I guess that very first morning when I went to the doctor about a year and a half ago, he said, "You're a ham sandwich away from being diabetic." And I guess he really meant it. He meant to tell me, you cannot have no more sugar. You got to cut sugar. That is the hardest thing in the world, probably, that I'll ever have to accomplish. You understand? And
I know.
Mike, shitty internet provider, is right, as he says right there. Water is key. Our body's made up of 70% of water, I believe. Is it about
Something
70%?
like
Might be
that.
more.
Also, hey Mike, I didn't take it as disrespect, buddy. I know how you were wording it. No disrespect taken at all, bro. None
Yeah.
whatsoever.
So yeah, water is key. I believe that to be 100% right because when I stayed straight water and I just didn't touch anything, and I can't say I was 100% no sugar, but I was about 85% no sugar. Now I went back to sugar where I'm doing about 60% sugar. It just don't work for me. I'm at the age
You
I just
also, I've also realized you love your chocolates. You need to stay away from them.
right. Well, it's just it. It's so when I went back to doing those things, not every day, but every other day, I was getting worse. So this is a life and death situation for me. If I continue that path because I've abused my body so much, I have to retrain my body. I have to make it healthy in certain. I got great kidneys. I got great liver. Perfect. I got liver,
If you
the
had
kidney.
great kidneys, you wouldn't swell so much on your feet.
Well, my kidneys are checked out 100% fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You find nothing wrong with them. Nothing.
Then
What do you
there's
say?
something else causing your swelling.
Right. You're right. The sugar.
Nah, it ain't a sugar thing.
I don't know. Something. It's probably that let me know that my body is that close to being a diabetic where I need insulin. I think that's what it is. and I have to stop. I can fix this. I don't want to be a diabetic. I don't like needles. I
You don't
don't.
have Joey. I'm a diabetic and I don't use needles at all.
You don't?
No.
No. You're a lucky guy because I'll be one of those guys that'll have to do it 5 times a day probably.
I was fortunate when I became a diabetic that there was a pill,
Really?
and I take the pill twice. I take my pill twice a day.
So do you
And
get hype?
here's the funny thing: my diabetes is reversible. It's just I am a stubborn mother effer that just refuses to do what the doctor says.
All right. Well, Brent Mudhouse bringing in the first super chat today. Brent
From
Mudhouse,
Australia.
Australia, $5. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, Brett, you're in Australia, mate. So there's no way in hell I'm going to send you cockpits.
Please tell Lou to stop sending me dick pics. My phone doesn't zoom in that much. Hacka. Have a good show, ladies. Thank you, Brent Monkhouse. Thank you. Lou, please stop sending Brent Monkhouse naked photos of you. He don't want to see that belly of yours. I assume that you're sending him belly shots.
Yeah,
I mean, Lou, just stop. Leave the guy alone, man. Leave the guy alone. So,
Yeah, he paid his $5. I'll give him that honor, and I won't send him
all right.
no more of my sexy body pics.
Speaking of dick pics,
Oh, Jesus, where are we
I'm
going?
one thing I did do that I couldn't miss. I always watch the Uncle Rico show, and there comes I don't know if it was a super chat or if it was a chat, just a free chat. I don't remember. Can you please show Joey C's dick pics? And surely the response was, I believe, was, well, I don't know where they're at. I couldn't tell you, but it's really thank you for letting us know that you still think about Joey C's cock. And you wouldn't believe who it was. I'll give you 3 guesses. The first one don't count.
Rochi?
Yeah, it was Rochi.
But you said the first one don't count.
Now, who's obsessed? This man is sick. He's a sick individual.
If a man is asking for someone's penis pics,
yeah.
What
does Mike say? Let me see here. Mike says Rochi asked for dick pics of Joey from using the membership miles. So that's right. I knew it was someone. And that's the guy you work with, buddy. That's your partner.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being an FAG, but Jesus, asking for things from straight people because they're not going to give it to you.
We finally understand why he fucking is always on me. This is what it all boils down to. He wants an autographed picture of my cock.
Hey,
that poor soul.
Sell that for the low price of $99.
No. I don't. Those are gone, long gone, and destroyed, man. It was I did it as being a smartass. It was done a long time ago. I think the way.
You really sent your cock?
Yeah, they showed it back there. In the episode, they showed it. They pixeled it out, but they showed it.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I said. Wow. Here's what happened. The bottom line is this, man. Back in those days, I was so green. I was being trolled, right? I didn't know what a troll was. And Shirley kept telling me, until he was blue in the face, every day. This went on for about 2 weeks. Will you trust me, buddy? I would never allow something like this. I would never jeopardize my channel. People were asking me, they were pretending, this was all pretending. Someone had me on the hooks saying it was their producer, Joe. So I'm talking back and forth, and I'm like, you know what? Then I had to send naked pictures of my wife, is what they wanted, to be part of the Shuli.
They're not going to do that.
Exactly. So they kept requesting the only way you could become into the cult. They wanted me that I had to be part of a cult. The Shuli cult is what they said. This is what they said. So I'm like, can you believe this, babe? And she goes, what are you going to do? I said, nah, we're not sending that. She goes, no, I'm not. Damn right, I'm not. So I'm like, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. He goes, you have to do it. Then you can never. He goes, okay, enjoy your 2 views. You get back then we get like 2 or 3 views of a show. You enjoy your 2 or 3 views. You do this. Well, we'll be at 1,000 live views every day. And I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm not still. So I go, okay, finally I go, all right, I'll give it to you. And I sent 4 separate pictures, and I put names on it. One for Mike Morris, one for Bob Levy, one for Chili, and then one for Joe, because Zen wasn't with him back then, and they got him, and they were blown away. And at one point, it got to the point that was going to turn to a criminal charge. They thought, so they brought Alex Stein on an episode and kind of asked his opinion, and he said, yes, it's criminal. You could definitely go after him, criminal charges. And then they said, well, someone pretending to be the BS show in the Shuli Network asked for him, but he goes, wait a minute, what'd you say? And he goes, but he thinks it's you guys, right? That's what they're saying. And he said, well, that takes the criminal right out, because he was just doing what someone asked. And if they're representing you, it doesn't matter if it was fake people. There's nothing. So that saved my ass. You understand? Because if they could have been pricks if Shuli and I didn't have a history. And then it went on from there, a full-blown war. We warred for about 4 months. He didn't speak to me for 4 months. I wasn't allowed in the chat room. It was ugly. It was ugly. I did everything I possibly could to get back in that chat room.
Horatio remembers.
Yeah. And Horatio, I'm pretty close to, because my memory ain't the best, but I was pretty close to how that all happened, right? I want to be very clear here that I said it correctly.
Andy and Charlie.
Let's cover this, because I was telling a story that happened over a year ago of an alleged people playing part, saying they were allegedly TSN. It turned out it was not TSN. Shuli was 100% telling me the truth. Joe didn't talk to me. Joe fought hard not to get me back in the chat room. He was against it.
Blame him, because you sent him, What man wants to receive a picture of another man's genitalia?
But the out was I was being a smartass. I wasn't. I'm like, here you go. Now when you look at it my way, people understood it. Then that's how the fans started understanding. Well, you know what? That was pretty smart. Instead of sending my wife, I go, yeah, you can have them. Here you go. They're on their way. And I did it. No, what I'm asking them, I'm just trying to down to the letter of it, that it was pretty close to what I'm saying right now.
It how I remember it happening.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I'm just trying to be. I know I might be a few words out of place there, but that's pretty much what happened. I was trolled hard. This person would text me every hour on the hour. We're waiting for those pictures. What's going on? Do you want to be part of the Shuli Network? Do you want to be part of the cult, the Shuli Network, the greatest network? And I'm like, and they knew that I was on the outs with Shuli. They knew it was tearing me up. They knew it. See, they just knew this person knew me already. It's pretty good. And I wasn't that well known. I mean, I was known, but I mean, it went on for about, I kid you not, 6 straight months. 6 straight months. Every day.
Speak of Truly. Truly's calling him now.
No. 6 months straight, every day, some show was talking about me somewhere. And I was going on MLC at the time. And I started building a good relationship with Kevin Brennan, which when I blew up about a couple months ago, Brennan made this quote, and just remember I discovered Joey C. He's taking the credit that he's doing that. But when people get on his ass about when they're pissed off at me, he don't click that claim. He says, you can thank Shuli for bringing him in this internet world, And it's not true. None of them, Shuli Shuli's the one that put me on the map. Brennan helped put me on the map. Chucky put me on the map. It was a combination, but Shuli was the one that was in my corner than anybody. He's the one that stuck by me, still with me. But I get people today that send me, how come you don't go on this Rico show? How come listen, we already showed you the other day, just a week ago, where Shuli said I was a part of TSN, always will be. I'm family. Okay? I don't really bother him to go on the show. Yeah.
All about talking about John and stuff.
Exactly. He knows I got
their group.
Right, exactly.
Certain things you don't want to mess with.
Exactly. And he knows that I don't want to hear no more about John. I'm done with John. So I got nothing to bring him for that show, you understand? There's nothing I can bring him because I'm not associated with John. If I was still in the loop with John, he would have me on. So doesn't it make sense? What you just said, Lou. They got a certain format. I don't contribute nothing to that format. Why would I be on there? He has said in the past, well, we got to bring him on when we have a BS show. Now, I guess next week from Mike Internet Shitty Provider, they're going to be bringing a Miserable Men they're talking about doing a Miserable Men because Mike's an old Miserable Men fan, which was the show that they did. Now, the Miserable Men has been around a long time. This goes back many years with Bob Levy, from what I understand. If I think the history of that, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. You know the history better than I do. Give me a little bit of history of the Miserable Men, from the original origin and until led up to them doing it with TSN. I don't remember the whole origin. I do remember that it was a great show at one time, and they, for some reason, it died once they had the BS show and the El Rico show. Because the El Rico show, let me tell you something. Shula used to start out with 5 people. You think it was right off the rip was successful? I went back and looked at episodes. We had 40 people in the chat room. 40 people. And he'll tell you that. He remembers those days very well. And they worked hard as a team. And they made additions. And they got better and better. They became big. Big. I'm talking big. Yesterday, people couldn't gift memberships. So everybody kept saying, I can't give memberships. I can't give memberships. And Shuli's going, I don't know what's going on. And then I wrote him, I go, maybe it's true. You got so many memberships. You got the entire Dabbleverse as the member. Maybe they shut it off so nobody can buy any more memberships. There's nobody else to send it to. You know what I'm saying? The Dabbleverse. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a joke, but because of course YouTube has got millions of people. But it was just ironic the way it was. Timing was perfect. You know that you got 8,000 memberships or something. So you got everybody in the Dabbleverse locked. I mean, someone dropped the 50.
Ratio says they used to do Miserable Men back on Sirius FM.
Correct. That's what that was years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, years ago. And Mike says, I didn't watch a lot of Miserable Men, but from what I've seen, it's a great show.
Well, wasn't it yesterday they told you, Mike, that they were going to do it for you because you said something about it? And they said you were a great fan of it? That's what Shuli said yesterday? Oh, look what we got here. We got the lady. Without further ado, everybody, we got the Sir Bobby Nix of Canada. Welcome.
Hello. Oh, yeah. Hello. How you guys doing today?
Welcome.
How are you, my friend? You're the
It's a night to see you.
Visit those folks yesterday.
Which folks?
The folks mean doctors.
Oh, the doctors. Yeah. Yeah. My doctor looked at my blood work and said it was good. My kidneys are good.
That's all you need.
My blood sugars are good. So yeah.
Good. So no problem with the everything's good with the smoking. Then he's probably still trying to tell you to quit smoking, though, right?
Oh yeah, he definitely
That's never gonna happen.
No, that's never gonna happen. Yeah.
That's never gonna happen. You know, I knew a lady. She's well into her 90s, smoked like 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Never had a health issue. Died of natural causes. 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And there's some people that can smoke. And so that's what my point is. You never know. You never know what draw you're gonna get. You just don't know.
No.
You know.
I
wish we could.
If Bobby decided to stop smoking, that's when everything will fucking hit him.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of.
It's true. Your body's so immune to it.
It's a funny thing because I dated someone back in my early 20s. Her father was a full-blown alcoholic. The moment he stopped drinking,
all shit went to bed.
It went to hell and he passed away.
Of course. If he'd kept drinking, because he's probably one of them guys that used to wake up shaking like this. He woke up, he probably was like this. The minute he had to take this is him when he woke up.
Yeah.
I need to drink.
It was one of those things like my brothers were like, man, I wish my dad would stop smoking. Not my father, their father. He's my stepfather. I'm like, you can't ask him to because he consumes so much of it that his body's going to need it and something worse can happen. So they were like, well, can you chill it out a little bit, Pops? So, he's toned it back.
Right.
But
and Eco Pineapple, Luke Pineapple brings a point. Go ahead, finish it. Go finish your story there. I just put that
yes, this is true. This is true, Luke. Yes, we're not medical professionals. We can only speak to what we've been told on our bodies.
Right. Our opinion.
Right.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you go by past, like you're saying, but like your friend that had your father was an alcoholic, he stops and they're all hell breaks loose because I believe that our bodies are just like an engine. I believe we kind of, when you compare it to a car engine, to a human engine, that if you break it down, it's certain parts that we have can compare to certain parts on a car, how everything runs. And it pretty much is all in the same, when it runs like a Swiss oil timepiece, the car, the same with the body, whatever the pistons is in our body. I would assume, I don't know, the valves of the heart, I believe.
I
You
agree
know,
with it's one of those. You know what? If you're a full blown alcoholic and you want to stop drinking, check into rehab.
yeah.
Let the rehab centers help you. Don't try to go
Well,
cold turkey because cold turkey won't work.
and if you're that far gone, I don't believe. But I also believe rehabs don't work unless you want to help yourself. I don't
No,
care
no.
what they tell you. Nothing
Yeah.
helps in rehab. Yeah, that rehab theory is not as good as people think it is. And if that person is going to, they chose to go there and they want to listen and they want to learn and they want all the tools to come help you. Then I say it works successfully. If they go in there with anything in their head saying, I don't want this. I want to hear because my wife wants me here, or my mother and father want me here, or my kids want me here. You've already lost the battle. You might as well just figure the 90 days you're going to give is out the toilet because it's not going to
And you
help you.
got, yeah, you got to do it 100% for yourself
Yeah.
and want to do it, want to quit
So,
Exactly.
whatever you're abusing,
That's
or
a
it's
good
so
not
question.
gonna, it's not gonna happen.
pineapple.
You'll be out of
What are
there,
you?
and you'll be right back to whatever you were
Exactly.
in.
Well, exactly. If you do 90 days, you'll get 60 days and say, I'm out of here. You'll check yourself out after 60 days.
Uh,
And you'll tell them, I tried it, I did, it didn't help. That's what you're going to be your attitude. It's right. It's true.
So pineapple. Are you referring to cigarettes or weed? Because if it's weed, yes, I've smoked it, but I like my money more than I like the weed, so I just never really went back to it.
To me, that's a very good question, Pineapple. And that's a funny thing. I told the story about why I've never since the one incident in my life touched a cigarette in my life. And I told the story when I was a very young boy. I used to go and take the cigarette butts out of ashtrays at my grandmother's house. And I always want to smoke. I always put it in my mouth. I want to smoke. I want to smoke. So my grandmother, instead of grab me and pat on my hand and say, don't touch that, she said, you want to smoke? Okay. After dinner tonight, we're going to go to the parlor, which she called her den a parlor. That's my grandmother called it the parlor. And it was her smoking room. Back in those days, parlor, I believe, is a term used by
Yeah, yeah,
by
yeah.
by kings, queens, and princes, and I believe that's a term used probably that he would understand. The parlor. So
The
we went to the
fancy folks.
parlor, and after dinner, she says, "Okay, here's the deal. Just sit in that chair right there, and I'm gonna light the cigarette. You got to smoke the whole cigarette. I don't care if you start getting sick. If you throw, you got to take good old puffs." And I was all excited. She lit that cigarette up, and I was sitting there puffing that cigarette. I got so sick, and I'm talking sick. First, I threw up I don't know how many times, and I was just sick and sick. And the lesson behind it is she already knew she had lung cancer, was dying from a
oh,
cigarette.
really?
So she made sure that I would never. I wish she was a drug addict because she probably done that to me. I would have been cured from being ever doing drugs. You see, you
You
understand
know
what
what?
I'm saying?
I just
And
never
Yeah.
liked the smell of like cigarettes.
yeah,
I never like. I touched one and I was like,
Ugh.
"This feels weird. I don't even want to fuck with this."
And the funny part about it is that I was around secondhand smoke my entire adult life.
I can't disagree there.
I was around smoke my entire. So it doesn't matter. They say secondhand is worse than anything, but I
That's
have
what they
as far
say.
as
I don't know.
so that's what they say. But that's the reason why I never lit a cigarette, bought a pack of cigarettes, asked for a cigarette. And as far as alcohol, I drank every day for a couple years, 2 years tops. I'm the type of if I drank beer, I immediately got to a point where I threw up every time I drank beer. Wasn't a time I didn't throw up. I was a very light drinker. 3 beers, I was like inebriated. 3 beers, I was such a lightweight
Really?
compared to some of the people. Yeah, oh yeah, it was terrible. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about some of these. I don't know if you know some baseball players. There's guys that like Wade Boggs was a heavy drinker. Wade Boggs could start when he was with the here in Tampa when he was with the Rays and they were going to a West Coast trip. He would drink about 16. No, I'm sorry, take that back. 24 cans of beer, which is a case. That's a case. That's 16, 24, correct?
24-pack. Yeah.
That entire flight he would go. They said he would doing. This is what I was told now, and this is all being from other clubhouse guys telling me this. And that he would drink 24 cans of beer from that trip from Florida to the West Coast, walk off normal, didn't even stagger. It was nothing for him. So, me, if I drank 3 beers, I was gone, making a jackass of myself and not remembering shit, but sick the next day, hungover, throwing up, couldn't function. I would be dragging at work, and that's why. But when I drank hard liquor, I didn't get sick, but I got into it, but I still did not. It just, I don't know. After about almost close to 2 years of doing it, I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I quit that, gave that up. So 2 out of 3 is not bad. I wish I'd have got 3 out of 3. I'd have been happier with 3 out of 3. I really, here he is. Here he is. We've been waiting for you. All right. That's my man right there. We are going to do the Bean story today. Stand tight. We're get into the Bean story here very shortly. And like I said, let's be clear. Rug Flea, thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. My dude, that's right. I saw the nice things you said on Twitter. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Bobby, for that. Appreciate that.
Me and alcohol, I've only been drunk once in my life.
Yeah, you told me that because
Really?
you never drank. Yeah, he never drank.
I'm not drinking.
No way. No way.
See, my thing was my father passed. My father, he served in Vietnam, hardcore into the drugs and that shit, and he was also an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So when he died, I made it a mental thing in my head that I would never drink or do hardcore drugs.
Yeah. I believe that.
To this day, like I like Joey said, I'll drink a beer and I'll be buzzed.
Oh, look at that. I can't even smell beer. I was sent about a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago, when Vince Lawyer was trolling me. He sent me I got like 4 deliveries from him, 2 7-Elevens, and a McDonald's, and a pizzas from somewhere. And in one of the 7-Eleven, he gave me a tall, one of those, the big bottles, the big cans of booze. I believe it was Coors Light. And I go and I got it, and he's like, "Drink the beer." I'm like, "I don't drink, dude. You didn't know that?" He was under the assumption that I was an alcoholic or drank. I said, "I don't drink, man." I mean, look at the stream that I did with Stutter and John and DG when they were inebriated, and I was the only one that was making any sense. And it was hard for me to do that show with them because they were gone, man. It was a rough one. That was a rough one, which goes down in history as probably if not the top show. That particular episode was his best ever, and one of the best in history. So I'm always going to be tied to that, which is a good for me, a memory for me. So, but it was tough. I mean, that was the worst I've ever seen him. Yeah, it was terrible. And I couldn't, when I sat in the refrigerator for a good 3-4 weeks, and I went there one day and I'm like, "Damn, the beer issues." I threw it out. I said, "Okay, all right, that's good. That's fine. I don't care." I just don't, I can't even stomach. If I opened it up and smelled it, I would throw up. Something about that, But it's a funny lesson here, because if you sit here and recap all this and say, I believe every one of us, each and every one of us, when you're born, you don't know what way you're going to go. You don't know what's going to happen, if you're going to be successful, if you're going to have good parents. We don't know none of this stuff. We don't know if we're going to be alcoholics, drug addicts. Everybody has a chance from birth, from the time they're born, to be successful, rich, do something in society. We all have a chance. We all, at the end of the day, no one makes you do nothing. We all take our course our own way. For me, I didn't listen to the direction too well. I didn't have a father around. I could sit here and pick apart entire reasons why, at the end of the day, I made the choices to go the route I did. And this is the result of it at 58 years old, which is, to me, not satisfying enough for me.
Bo.
So
as far as thing for me was,
I don't know. I think we all did the best we could.
Right. Well, of course. We did the best what we thought as adults. Yeah. The best choices.
My stepfather would come home drunk. That was just such a turn off.
Of course.
Smacked me upside the head. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. I went through all that.
One of the things my wife loves, she's like, "Man, you're the only guy I've ever been with that doesn't care to drink or smoke."
Then that's a good thing. It's probably the biggest turn on for her, and not saying that she don't love you. I'm saying she loves you, and it's all the whole package. But that's probably one of the biggest things that she thinks of every day. I got a good man. He don't drink. So I don't got to, because obviously maybe she had some bad experience with someone in her life, in her family, that might have that she saw some ugliness from, and that's just it's a good place for her to be when she sees that in a man, and she probably has a flashback. Wow, I wish I had this in whatever bad experience she had with someone like that, and you fixed that void for her. So that's good, and that's why I'm saying, I wish I could have made some better choices, and I chose not to make better choices for me. And the end result is this. I mean, this is this is me. This is what I got. This is it. This is it. I'm 100% real. I'm definitely 100% poor. Um, you live and learn. You're a good man, Joey C. Thank you, Red Quigley.
That's
Thank you very
right.
much. And
Give him the belt for that. Give you the belt.
thank you. I try to be a good guy. I have a bad temper.
Temper's temper. I mean, everyone strives to learn from their mistakes. That's how I
You
look
know,
at it.
I try to learn from the mistakes in my marriage, the things I do wrong. The things you know, and I love my wife more than the world, but I've always told her, please, if I need to be corrected, it's something that's bothering you, don't just pass it by, because we talked a lot yesterday, and she thought I'd be upset, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm glad that you finally. I don't. I know I'm not perfect, and I put her on a pedestal, and she puts me on a pedestal, and that's fine. But when you're alone, I want to know what's missing, if there's anything that we need to fix,
Yeah.
and that was good
That's good
that
for a
we talked.
relationship.
It was good that
Communication is key. If you
right,
don't, if you're with somebody and they don't tell you
right,
what you're fucking up on,
right,
you're just gonna keep doing it like
The
nothing's wrong.
cycle will keep repeating
right,
itself.
right.
Yeah, you know.
And
So
some of the things that I
good
didn't think
job.
that bothered her, some of the things I didn't think bothered her, I had suspicions they might have. She finally gave me her heart and talked to me, and I'm like,
We all know,
wow.
Joey, she's tired of you farting in your sleep.
Yeah, that's it just opened my eyes to know that you take things for granted. The
You
simple
do.
things you take the simplest things for granted of a simple person that's in your life every day, right next to you every day, and
100%. Yeah.
you take it. You take that for granted, and I realized it was a wake up call yesterday for me, and I'm just glad, because I would have just kept on going thinking there was that it was everything was perfect, and that's impossible, because I sit here and I say every day on the internet, nobody's perfect, we all got flaws, and then I turn around and say I got a perfect, and we don't,
Well,
we
you were under the assumption that the marriage was perfect.
right, 100% perfect, right, and it's
But
not, but
that conversation,
it's nothing major, it's just little things that I can change, really simple, and open my eyes to think, you know her biggest thing is do you she can't stand when someone when I talk good about somebody that has insulted me, or someone that has really did bad things to me here on the internet, and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and she just can't stand it. And then I understood yesterday when Tukey was on. I didn't watch it live till the end, and I went to the I went started at the beginning. I just went frame by frame, and there it came. And Rocco goes, he gets it, he gets it. I guess I didn't know this. A bunch of people sent a lot of letters to him, emails to him, that they were not happy what he was doing, how far he was taking the things he was saying about my wife. And apparently it was a lot of people, from what I understand. I didn't realize that many people really cared about her and loved her, man. And I guess they really made some demands. From what I understand, and I'm just this is what I got out of this. I clipped that part that he says I won't be talking about Joey C no more, and he goes, I get it, with all the fans that said, and his own words, and I was actually really blown away here, and I'll just play that real quick for you guys, and then we're gonna go into the Bean story, okay? Then we're there to the Bean story right after this. So, and I was kind of, and now here's the thing, and I'm gonna explain where I'm at with this, and then we're gonna go to the Bean story. I've got to say this, I've got to respond to this in a positive way, because I understand it. It's what has to be done. But then again, I'll tell you what I'm glad I'm glad for a lot of things, but I'll tell you my selfishness. I'll also tell you both sides of the story on this one. So how my thoughts are 100%. After I show you this, but I know I get it ready here. Find it. Find it. Yes. All right. Well, I thought I had it.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought I had it. Let me see.
Oh shit. It's gone.
All right, I found it. Okay. All right.
He's found it, ladies and gentlemen.
And I just feel I have to answer to this because I have no. I'll explain the whole thing to you after I show this to you guys. So, all right, so here we go. This is the clip I clipped out.
The Strapanos. All right.
No, they come on. Come on. Why is that sharing?
Because this is Twitter. Twitter's a pain in the ass.
It's not working.
Let's
see. Hang on, guys. I don't know what's happening here. It's not working. Hang on.
Did it open up on a new page?
Yeah, I opened up and that's what I got to do. That's what I got. You're right there. There we go. That's what it is. The good thing you called. Good call, Bobby. Good call. I had to open up on a new page. That's exactly what I didn't do. I didn't go to the right page.
I already got it. I got it.
I got it. Here we go. Ready?
I don't know, sir.
Like Joey C.
Said lady feet.
Joey C, who we will not talk about on this show anymore. I got enough hate mail. You can stop the hate mail about last Tukey Soup. I get it. I enjoy Joey C, but the world does not. I think we can see that by his 36 morning viewers. So he's also threatened to sue me. So we will no longer be talking about Joey C. Joey C is dead to us.
There it is. Joey C is dead to me. And our 30, he says, here's where I got pissed off. He goes and says, instead of saying 36 live viewers, he says the video got 36 views. That video went almost at 500, I believe, in views. But he's right. We had 40, 45. But, okay, so is that him just telling us, bragging? He don't have to brag. We know he's a top drawer. We never claimed to be top biller. But here's the thing about this, is people really, I know a couple people told me they were going to write in. You take everything with a grain of salt when people tell you this and people tell you that, just like they do us. You know, people always question anything out of your mouth. People always come to the same, it's just joking. Everybody just joking. You take this way too serious. Maybe I do. You're probably right. I'm not doubting that. But here's the downside. I appreciate that what people did. And it needed to be done. Because I never care about what they say. And she doesn't care just stop those things that are not true about her, because she's a good woman. So that's number one. But number two, him not talking about me, and this is where I'm going to be selfish, could kill the Joey C name. And it hasn't even got started. We're still fighting to get it started. You understand? So my selfishness says, damn it, what the hell's going on here? But then again, I got to say, no, that's my wife, and it's right. So in my head, after going through myself, because I was not a nice guy for a couple hours after I saw that, and it kind of led into a bad downside of an argument. But then I said, you know, what am I doing, man? I already know the answer without even bringing this up on the table. Fuck it, you know. But I don't believe he won't. But he did make the statement until he does something dumb again. So, and the part about suing, he already knows that he was put on notice and all that. He spoke to Frank Amadeo, and so it is what it is. This could be the end of Tukey Soup ever speaking one word of me, or it might. If it's over, it's over. I think that I'm platformed enough that where everybody knows me anyhow, and I'm grateful for everybody that has spoken. Because another thing I heard on was it TSN yesterday? I think it was. Was it TSN? It was some show I was watching yesterday. It might have been TSN. There's no such thing as bad publicity. There's none. Anytime you're being talked about, I don't care how horrendous it is, it's good for you. And that's a fact. That's a fact. And that's probably what made me more. That's probably what made me more popular is the people tweak, the funny people making fun of me in a fun way and just making it funny, I think it was even made me more popular. So I don't care. Again, I'm my own man. I have to think my own way. I'm either, like I said, we're either gonna make it or we're not. I get emails and comments all the time. Dump Lou. Dump that clown crew you got. Get rid of it. It's just okay, but I'm not gonna dump Lou. I'm not gonna dump it. I like my show. I'm content with our show. We have a small base group, but we got the same people that come from morning to end. You know, from the time it starts to the end. So okay, everybody, and then Julie reminded me. We took a long time to build the 40 live viewers, and we stayed there for a long time. You understand? So it's just keep doing you, man. I always hear Bob Levy tell me, keep doing you, keep doing you, keep doing you. Don't take it serious. Don't take it too serious. When you're on live, do your thing, man. When you're home, be happy with your family. And that's all I can do. So I'm grateful for the stepping stone I got from every platform there is in this Dabbleverse. I'm even grateful for the time I had with Stutter and John, because that made me really sharp on a lot of things. Being next to him on the screen, you learn quickly with him, and he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot of things not to do. Now, a lot of people make comments on Twitter saying, "I'm just the next Stutter and John. I'm just like him. I'm just like him." And it's easy to say that when it comes to the part of the money. I think the same logic like him, but then I start looking at everybody. I don't see Tukey ever reading a super chat. I mean, a non-super chat ever. Not even bringing up one thing. So I don't see. So it's just when people put their time in without being monetized is the time they have to put all that stuff up, and then you got to make a choice. You got to make. Some people say to do it organically, interactive, social many. Okay, we tried that. You know what happened? We didn't own our show. They owned it. And the bottom line, as much as we need the fans, we can't allow them to own anything. We cannot let them tell us how to dictate our show. We can't. It's going to be our way. And we have to listen to them, take their ideas, because there's a lot of talented people. So, and there's a lot of people with great ideas. I mean, look at the thing with the potato, that Lars Skoll, the thing that he came out with an idea in John's arm. He cut out the mouth, and then he came out talking through the tattoo, and someone in the chat room gave the name, and that's it. He got it from a fan. So yes, we want the fans to interact. We want them to help us. I'm hoping to God that we get all those talented people that are blessed with, but Truly Network's blessed with, the people that do all kinds of things. I mean, make videos and you know, Sykes. I thought we had Sykes on board. I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if he's just too busy, or if he's just, you know, he's grown out of the little shows. And that's the other thing that happens when guys are that good. They're gonna use the stepping stone, but when they get to the big leagues with the big dogs, they're not gonna come back to help the little guys. They're just not gonna. And there's no shame to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not faulting that. I just know he's very busy, and I would love him to do some stuff for us. But again, you can't expect everything to be done. You got to do something in return that is worth to them on some of these people, and we're just not built to do that. We're not built financially to do that. But I'm telling you, people, as big as TSN is, people send all kind of stuff to them, man. All right, so here, Lars Skolson. That's Skolson. That's Lars Skolson. Thank you, Mike. Is Mrs. C on Alpha Shot Lounge your wife? Yes, that's my wife. Yes, Mrs. C on Alpha Shot Lounge your wife, Joey. Yes, Rug Figley. That's right. Yes, sorry, I didn't see that till just now. I didn't even see it in front of me. Yes, that's my wife. Mrs. C is my wife. Yes.
It's funny. Demetrius and Gaseous and one more person are having a conversation with someone that's not popping up on the StreamYard side, but he is on the YouTube side, which is very weird.
Who is that?
What's his name? Gavin.
I don't know who that is. Do I know him?
I don't know.
I've never seen his stuff. I was like, what?
Yeah. A lot of people hide themselves from me seeing them. That much I'll tell you. There's a few people.
But he's in your chat,
though. That's weird.
That's funny because he's in your chat.
You could do it. Here's what you do: you go over to YouTube, and the person you don't want to see, you don't want him to see your message, and you don't want to see. You click on their name, and you hide them. It's that simple, right there. You hide hide user on this channel. That's only hiding them from you. You understand? You can't see them and they can't see you. And that's how Flex 316.
So this,
Yeah, because he made a comment saying Rocco gets on all 4 for Melton. Half-Life
What was
3
that?
is coming out next year.
Say that again now. I missed that. What'd you say?
The Gavin person says, Rocco gets on all 4 for Melton.
Wow,
He's about a video game. It's odd how you have to move over to the YouTube side to see his comments, but they're not popping.
I don't see him. What's his name?
Gaben.
I don't see him. He's hit himself completely from me. Now I had a kid emailing me some months back. He was doing a video game, and the video game he completed it, but I don't think he released it. It had everybody in it, Carl, and he gave me a part in there, and I was in the middle of when I was being trolled hard, and I'll admit that I was hesitant to send this in because I thought he was trying to do something to me. Thank you very much. Thank you for the $4.99. Rev Fugly. She's a beautiful. I enjoy her show. That commissioner's a star. Yeah, he's in the chat room today. Thank you, Rugby. Yes, that's my lovely bride. That's my lovely wife right there. Thank you so much for that. Very nice of you. So here's what I know about this Hyde stuff. Jesus Christ.
God damn.
Don't
you see we're doing a professional broadcast?
It's just amazing. It's when I was in TSN, like I said, that was the main chat room that I was in all the time, and I got in fights with a lot of people. I would just click on them and hide them from them. And then when Flex came over here when we first got mine and was he was given gifted membership, we couldn't pull it up. I couldn't pull it up as Catalano TV. The other people was there saw him, but I couldn't see him. And he goes, I cannot be a donor unless. So it took me about 8 weeks to figure this out, maybe less, maybe 6 weeks. And finally, someone said he's blocked on your Google block list. There, sure enough, I went and checked the Google block list, and there he was. And I unblocked him, and he was able to appear in my chat room. So that's the downside. If you block someone and don't write it down, and what show you did, you have to go back to that show where you have to catch their name, and you be in the same chat. But once you block them, you'll never see them. So you got to go back to that very show before you hit them and find her name and unblock them. That's the only way you can do it. Otherwise, it's on the Google side. It all ties into Google, and that was a nightmare. And I because I made the effort and showed the effort and was concerned about it, is how I stayed good with Flex. And he knew. And I'm like, "Could you change your name?" And everybody goes, "He's had that name for like 15 years. There was no option for him to change his screen name." We tried and I worked on it every day till I figured it out. And I tell you what, I wouldn't even figure it out if someone didn't send it to me and say, "I think it check the Google side." And it was a long shot that they said that, but I'm sure enough that's where it was. So, yeah. All right, now I'm going to fill you guys in on something. We all know, without bringing up any bad feelings with anybody. And this is why I was reluctant to do this, but because Red Fugly, I gotta say, he was a TSN guy for life for the longest. For whatever reason that he got upset with TSN, it brought him into our life regularly. And truly, I think the world of it is one of my top friends in my life. And Rug Fregley has a big problem with TSN and Truly. For whatever reason, it's his business. I won't sit here and talk bad about Truly. I respect Mr. Fregley for his opinion, what he's upset about. All I know is it got a great man over here to be a regular with us. Looks like to be one of a pretty good damn person to be around us. You understand? Because of his kind words, the things he said on Twitter, I was touched. It was just touched. And I guess he spent $30 with us one morning, Lou. I think it was morning or maybe the bus. And he went back to Shuli that night and said, "That son of a bitch made me spend $30 super chat. Didn't budge off the bean story." This is what, I kept sending him super chats.
That might have been a busting balls.
Because
it wasn't in a morning show.
And here's this best part. I didn't even realize what he was doing. He gave me too much credit to think that I wasn't doing that purposely. I wasn't that sharp that day to figure that out. That until he said it on the TSN network. He goes, "That son of a bitch." I kept saying that he didn't give us nothing. And I'm like, I wasn't doing that purposely. Trust me. And so anyhow, the other thing is this could bring up some bad feelings with people. It turned out to be where it was where people thought I kicked the cool into the curb. This whole thing that I'm going to get ready to talk about is what led to a lot of things bad. I basically it came out that Kahuna. Basically, the whole bottom line is people get conclusion is I was a liar. Kahuna was the one that say he's the nice guy, but then Kahuna comes and does a great interview with Bobby Fran, and we see that he's a great guy. And I had to, I was supposed to pause. You are the man. No, I know. It's just funny. It's funny because I thought about it. I go, oh my God, what did I do to the poor guy? Because here, when I see new people coming in and they're showing love and I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't scare that guy away. They're thinking I was a prick. And I'm not that. I'm smart, but I just did not. That wasn't my direction. I would have. You know me. Here's the problem with Joey C. Joey C will start a story and then go into 10 other stories and not finish one of them. That's my problem. That's my problem. Is if I start thinking about or someone fires me up in the chat room with something, and I'll just derail myself. I'm my worst nightmare. I'm my worst nightmare. I will derail myself faster than anybody can derail me. They don't get that. They do the trigger points, but I'm the worst. And it's just me. It was something that we talked about, my wife and I last night. One of the things that she does not like about me. I mean, I never knew this. And I'm like, wow, I took that for granted because that's just me. It's my ways, how I get. I've been like that since I was a little boy. And there's just some habits I have that I tried to say, I'm not a child anymore. I can't act like a child. You understand? I'm a grown man, 60 years old. I can't use that, but I'm a creature of habit. I am a creature of habit. Just so you're clear, it's let me see what he says. He said, Rev Fugly says, Shuli prefaced the Bean story weeks ago. I don't know why, but I had to hear it. You remind me of my paisan uncle back in Detroit, Joey. Really? Okay, thank you. That's a compliment. I'll take that as a compliment. If I remind you of your uncle or grandfather, I'm another person who said I remind him of his grandfather sent me his grandfather picture because he looked just like my and there was a lot of resemblance there. I don't need to discuss who that was, and I'm just, to me, that's what it's all about. So we all know this, so we don't bring no hard feelings. We're not talking about Kahuna in any bad way. We're not here to stir up that fun. There was no arrest. There was no money. It all was a bad work. But
Kahuna was right, Joseph. He was 98% correct. And, I still like you, Joseph, but Kahuna was always right. He was always right, Joseph.
We brought the jury. But here, before we go into for Mr. Rev Fugly, we dedicate today's episode to Mr. Rev Fugly and welcome to Catalano TV. And I'm very honored to have you here. And I hope we hope we can entertain you every day and get better and better to make you laugh and be happy, like all the moments you've had with other channels. I hope I can fulfill those obligations for you. And I hope I can fulfill anybody's day with that. First and foremost, I've never claimed to be anything. I've never said we were good. I just know that we are building a community in the right direction. So, and we'll never know. I suck today, and those are the words of Tukey, and those are the words of El Horrible, and those are the words of Rocco. You suck, but I still love Joey C. It don't make no sense to me. We suck all the way across the board, but the man can't have enough of Joey C. So I just don't get that part. I just have a tough time dealing with that part. And I loved Rocco and Tukey and like I said, until I mess up again. Well, so I assure you that there'll be many talks about me in the future of Tukey Sue.
So without further ado,
the
rock story.
Here we go. Right. So this went on for a couple weeks, where these ugly fucking 3 prostitutes were out there in not the long chairs, but the short type beach chairs. You know what I'm talking about? Not the ones where you lay on them. The ones that they're the metal with the you know what I'm talking about, right? You guys get the
yes,
and they're out there by Pops' fucking little area. And they're sunbathing with no tops on.
Whoa.
And I'm talking about this is where we invented the scrambled egg theory. Because them tits look so fucking bad that it was so scary that I wanted to run upstairs and throw up. That's how bad they were. And I went back down there. We were up and down that day a couple times. We were throwing trash out, cleaning, spring cleaning, taking stuff to the dumpster. And my wife just, oh my God, I can't take it no more. And they're just sitting there with their no teeth here, smiling, no teeth.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck?
Cottage cheese titties.
And I'm like, can you imagine what their box smells like?
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, that is horrendous. And there's Pop. Yeah, you know, yeah, I need me $7. I need me $7. Give me $7. I need $7. I gotta give me crack. I gotta give me my girls going. Come on, Pop. You come over here and see what I got. And I'm like, Pops, I ain't got time for this shit right now. And he tried to lure me over to the den over there where he had it all laid out. And I'm like, I can't creep any closer. It was bad enough that I had a perfect, and I got bad eyes, and I could see this. And they're like,
His dick threw up.
so first of all, at my age, with the way I've abused my body, I've got to be very careful that I don't get to the health problem where I can't even get a hard on anymore. Well, that would never get me in that direction. So that would kill anything that would probably go away and never want to come back again. And that's what I was afraid of by looking at that. I'm like, oh my God, this is bad.
That would have made your peanut butter turn into a Ninja Turtle.
But the problem was I was afraid it would never come back and recover from that. So I had to really refrain from even paying attention because it was making me sick. And I'm like, this could damage me. Because can you imagine this in my head, in my home, and all of a sudden this comes into in the middle of when you need it to be working, and that be the cause of why? So it's a psychological thing. Am I right? It's a psychological thing. Once you put something in your head that's bad, and it'll come up at the times you don't want it to come up. So I went on for a couple of weeks of this nightmare because I saw it for a couple of days in a row. And I mean, they said no teeth and their glasses on and their crooked eyes and not bathing. They stunk. You could smell the stink from them. You know, I don't know how many months. I don't know how many months. Yeah, I mean, you could. You see what I'm talking? And there was another lady, a really weird, heavy-set black woman, who she didn't seem all there. She seemed like she was like a little kid. And I don't know. I'm trying to say this very delicately on here. She wasn't a full R-tard. You understand?
Yeah.
But she had the makings of it. But one of those ones that were an adult that was really a little girl, a little teenager. You know what I'm talking about? Stuck in like, you know what I'm talking about? How some of those people that have those
in like an adult body.
Yeah. You could see the little kid in her, and she was always. You just could, the way she looked, and her old man, his name, I think it was Mike, I think his name was, if I think it was Mike, who was really off the wall. Now, I started talking to him more than I talked to Pops. And Pops was out there with the three hookers. And they're always, and Beans came into play. So, and I'm like, we gave them food, but homeless people, they go to the store and they buy canned goods. That they'll buy corn, they'll buy vegetables, they'll buy beans because they'll eat right out of the can. That's what they do. They have no way of heating it up. It's just cold straight out of the can. But it's one of their, and they don't eat much. Let me put it to you this way. Whenever someone gives them food, they will eat. But if you give them money, if they're homeless and an addict, you got no shot of them going to buy food. Now, Pops took a very bad turn. And he was like, there was days I knew he was really cracked out. He was spaced out. Now, I had to check him a couple of times because he just felt like he was so comfortable being out there with us because we were cool with him. Then he went to those levels of trying to be a dickhead, and I just had to chill him out. Pop, well, we ain't taking that here, bro, stop. And he would just, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. Get on his bike, fuck you. I need some crack, motherfucker. Give me some money. You get no fuck you. All right, Pops, you know. So the guy that was with the lady, his wife just kept staring. And then he says one day, can you give me a ride? I said, sure. And all of a sudden, he's behind me in the van. And I'm kind of watching him change into a guy, a very bad, angry, like a total B personality. And he's talking about he just got out of a 25-year prison sentence for murder, right? And the guy's got a wife that's not all there. And he's making this turn to be, you're seeing the other personality now. Another guy getting comfortable with you, he's going to show his real true color. So he's going on, and he's pissed off. And you got to get me out of here, Mr. Joe. I swear to God, someone's going to get hurt. I just did 25. I'm not going back to prison for that. You got to get me out. And he's talking to me. And I'm watching in the mirror like, is this guy going to pull a gun or a knife any minute, shoot me in the back of the head? I'm nuts for even putting him in the van and driving him. That's my first, put that on me, with my wife. He could have grabbed my wife by the throat and demanded stuff from me, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It could have went bad. So I get him back. It turns out where I was taking him, he says, get me out of here. The police are coming. I'm telling you, they're coming. It's always going to go bad for me. And they're coming. They're coming. I got to get out of here. And I'm like, dude, you need to chill. There's nobody out here. So I start realizing he's smoking crack too. He's up days. He's paranoid. So he starts fighting with the wife of his that is, I'm telling you, she was just out there till a couple of days ago. And I'll tell you the whole end result. And the beans came in. Well, he was in one of his crazy moods. And I realized, look, they're all out there, and I got to be naive to think that they're not still doing drugs. If you're an addict, you're an addict. If you're an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic. Homeless don't. Some people will say, look at where I'm at, rock bottom. I need to change my ways. Some people will make that change and realize that's been some people's points to go straight and narrow and go to rehab from that point and then get their life back on track. This man did 25 years for murder. He's been with his wife for a long time. The entire time they were together before, she stuck with him all the way, but she wasn't there. And he was telling me she needs her medicines, that it was going to get bad for her. And she had all these high medicines she needed for her mental ability. So it finally, I did a show. I think I did the night talk show, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And there was no soda. There was nothing in the house. I wanted a candy bar. I wanted a soda, and Christina wanted something from what did we go to? What's the Wawa's, from the Wawa's, which is, if you get out of my parking lot, you go to the right, at the light, make a left, and go to the next light. It's right there in the corner. We can walk there, but I'm not walking when it was steaming hot. So it doesn't make a difference. I got no AC in the van anyhow. So what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? So we get over there, and we were in there a little bit, and I wind up buying a couple candy bars. She wanted some 12-pack of Mountain Dew. I bought some beef jerky. I bought some chips. I bought some cookies. I had a whole bag full of fucking 110% sugar. Man, everything in there I shouldn't have. At this time in the morning, I'm sliding back down to I'm going to be a diabetic or I'm going to die. So we get back, and he's crazy. He starts approaching the van, right? Now, he approaches the van, but this has got to be about 1:45 in the evening. And he's got a look in his eyes like I didn't like the way he was coming over. I've been around a lot of situations on the street that I knew this was not going to be him just wanting to talk to me. And he flipped out and said I was looking at his woman in a way that he didn't like. And I looked at her, Christina, I said, what is he talking about? I don't even look at any woman when I'm in public. I don't got no eyes but for you. She just ignore him. Let's just go. And he's going on and on and on. And he's eating beans. And all of a sudden, he said, fuck you, motherfucker. You don't take me out of here. This is all your fault. Bam! And that was it. I'm covered in these fucking beans. And I'm like, he come at me, and I just grabbed him. And I stopped him. Now, I'm 225 pounds. It's not going to be easy to knock me down. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like steel. You understand? I could take it. And I just stopped this. He's skinny. He's $120. You understand? He's 120 pounds wet coming at me. all crazy, and I just fucking stopped him like a fucking brick wall. You understand? And I put him down. Well, the neighbor across the hall from us, she's a nosy body, just always knocking on our door, thinking we are the managers of this building, giving us a complaint for the landlord. She's tired of what they're doing out there. It's our fault that they're just saying that we feed them and we told them they can stay there. Listen, all we told Pops was we're not gonna. All we told Pops, from my apartment, my sister, is we're not gonna make no problem for you and call the police to run you away. Now, what Pops did is when he got comfortable, this is what he did. This is what my landlord told me months ago, years ago, 2 years ago. If you feed a stray cat, you're gonna multiply really bad. Pops got comfortable and he went to the community where he was with all his homeless people. Come on over. It's cool. We got one that's cool. They ain't good, and they start building Tent City out there. And that was because that was on us. So technically, I take the blame for that. Why it was getting so horrendous is because we allowed that. We befriended one of them a lot, and he went, and it was all his act to get our confidence. So this is what they do. This is what I found out to do. And then he goes to where they're not wanted, where they need to get out of everybody. And come on, Vody, come on now. Come on, we got a place. Come on. And then I start seeing tents. So this guy, the neighbor, she sits in her car. I don't understand why she sits in her car a lot. We got suspicions of her. We won't talk about her another day, but she's a little off the wall. She would always call my wife's phone at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, banging on the door. She's pissed off. She's got a story. And she called the police. Now, of course, I should have realized this. What's the first thing I'm going to say when the police show up, when they want to try to find out what's going on? What's the first thing someone's going to say, like me? I live here, right?
Yeah.
That's going to take what? This is my property. I live here. I rent this place. So this is all what the renters have. So I'm not going to be even considered to even listen to about anything, whether or not I struck him or not, because there was nobody going to say I struck him first. And he just got out of prison. So they took his ass to jail. Now he's still there. He's still there. And then I put together, when we tried to do this fail work, I used it that they were out there, the naked titties, which they were at different times, different days. They were out there sunbathing during the day for weeks with their tits. So it was perfect to mix the scrambled eggs with the beans. And that's what happened. They hauled his ass off. This son of a bitch got a phone inside the fucking jail and texted me the other night. This is Mike. That's all it said. This is Mike from inside of jail. I don't know if he's blaming me for why I didn't call the police on him. I didn't say I was pressing charges on him. So obviously, because of his situation and his record, is why he's still in there on a trespassing charge. Obviously, he can't afford the bond, whether it's $2,000, $3,000, $1,000. It's probably a $5,000 bond, which he needs $500 to get out. Now I don't know if he was calling me to ask me to pay his bond, but I immediately didn't respond. I just deleted it. Or he could have been telling me to check on his old lady, right? So all of a sudden she's got a tent. Now she's living good. Now she's for days to, can you help me? They're over there pulling their dicks out at me, jacking off on me. And I guess a bunch of the homeless people, when he was gone, they were all over by her, jerking off and fucking shooting her with cum. You know?
What?
So they're shooting the cottage cheese today.
So now you feel bad. I feel bad. And then the beans. Oh my God! It ruined the fucking shirt that I just bought. That pissed me off. Number one, and that's where it started. And I knew when she said she called the police, I'm like, I could have just went upstairs and beeline up and took my shower and said, fuck it. Yeah, I defended myself because he was going to get violent. If he murdered somebody, this guy wasn't just trying to make a statement. This could have been his idea. He was so far gone with mentally deranged, doing 25 years in prison and being homeless with a nut job wife. You got Pops right next to him. You got the 3 fucking scrambled egg tit women always there. And this guy eating the fucking beans, and he's coming at me. I'm the one that he's going to kill. This is going to be bad for me. So, of course, I'm going to defend myself. Now, he could have what if he had a pipe in his hand? He could have cracked me in the hand. I could have died right there. It all depends where you hit somebody. That's why we have defense moves. When you fight, protect certain parts of your face, your throat. There's certain things you got to protect because an accidental punch could kill anybody. You don't have to be a guy that fought. if you get the right punch in the right place and knock somebody over, they hit their temple, it could be dead for anybody. So here, I'm 60 years old. I'm in fucking pain. I'm fucking back to eating sugar. I'm back to not sleeping. I'm back to fucking making my body nuts. The beans are on me. I'm fucking want to kill this guy. My wife is saying, let's go, try to keep me from getting in trouble. The cops show up. I immediately say, I live here. I want him off the property. And then they go, well, yeah, you want to press? I don't want to press no charge. He assaulted you. No, I didn't say that. Well, we're going to trespass him. And he's still there. And that's the bean story. That's where it all. And for whatever reason, I concocted, or me and Kahuna conspired to make this. I was going to visit someone at the jail the next day or the next morning. And I think that morning, that's when we came up with well, if I'm going there anyhow, let's turn this craziness outside into what we turned it into, which would have worked. Because when he says, but I stopped it right there. I like, wait a minute, if I get arrested, these people are not dumb. They're gonna go look for the arrest record. It's all public document. You could pull up arrest records. If someone's arrested, it shows. You go right into the fucking clerk's office and you see. So I knew, wait a second, this is gonna be called this. So I right away thought about it. So that's when I came up with the part. I was detained, and once we worked it out there, they released me with no charges, which would have worked until the money situation came in. That's what fucked everything up.
The money.
The money fucked the whole thing up. But then again, here's my conclusion. I'm not a funny guy. I have no experience doing works. Kahuna definitely had no experience doing works, and only a month and a half of airtime. We had no fucking business doing a work. The conclusion is save the works for the guys that are experienced, and because here, I am all about truth and being honest and telling my stories, which I know are boring. I get all day long. We don't want to hear your fucking baseball stories. We don't give a fuck about that shit. We want to see you crazy. We want to see you screaming. We want to see you IRL. Okay, that's what fits for you. That's just what you got to do, or else you suck. Okay, fine. And that's fine. I suck. I've never claimed that my shows were good. And one guy goes, "Your walk and talks were so successful, and you killed that. You can't handle success. You were on your way." I didn't kill it. I stopped it because it was the season not to do it. So long be short, the guy's still locked up, I think, for trespass. I assume that I didn't press no charges on him, unless he had warrants for others. He may have had warrants. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But the son of a bitch.
Here's the thing, Joey. You don't know what the cop charged him. He could have added more charges onto that.
Exactly. I didn't look either. Here's the thing. I think one day when he was flipping out, I asked my wife, did he say he had a warrant or two out there? That's why he was paranoid, or is it the drugs that were? So yes, the drugs made a difference. But I think he did say he had a warrant or two. So whatever he's in there for, it's just not the trespass. He must have had warrants, which is fine. I don't care. Now it goes on. Now she's left out there, and I'm telling you, she's complaining to me. Oh, the men are jerking off on me. Please help me. What do you want? They broke into the restaurant. They go and defecate in there and shit in there on the floor. They go and piss on the floor. So my landlord's been MIA. You can't get a hold of him. He owns a construction company. He bought a whole new community in Bradenton, in the shit area of Bradenton that they're revamping. Bradenton has got this big thing going about all this money they're putting into this neighborhood, an old crack neighborhood that they're rebuilding. He bought most of the properties there, my landlord. So he's there with his crew. They're rebuilding all the apartments. So he just totally forgot about us. And pretty much when he needed something, he would call my wife or text me. Is your wife, are you available? Can you guys go check this out for me? Wait a minute. We agreed to help you in the beginning. Was no talk about us being any long-term managers, or I don't want none of that. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to interact with people in the building. It's 4 apartments. 4 simple apartments. You understand?
Here's how you do it, Joey. You want me to be your manager? So, is my rent free?
What did we did that? How much you taking off the rent? I mean, you take $100 a month to put up with this chaos? And here's the thing. The building was quiet as hell. I got this apartment because next door, the guy that lived next door to me was a black man that I was locked up with, who was in federal prison for drugs. He was a major dealer. He did his 7 years, got out. He rented this place next door and said, there's one apartment. You should go check it out. I came down here. I talked to the guy. The guy says, listen, he vouched for you. I don't care what your last name is. I don't care what you're in prison for. Don't make no trouble in my building. Pay your rent, and you get it. When can you pay? I said, well, I got 26 days left, but I think I got to go. I broke a rule. I broke a dumb house rule in the fucking the what do they call it? The halfway house. When you go from prison to a halfway house, the rules triple in what you have to do compared to what your rules are in prison. You understand? There 3 pages of rules that you must obey. There's no room. They're broke down in platform. There's 10 rules that you get a warning if you break these 10 rules. Then you go to the second rule. Those ones get you where you have to have a hearing and possible where you're locked into the place without going out to work. They take away your job. And then the third thing you do, it's automatic. It goes back to the prison bureau. And when you break that rule, there's no hearing. You go back to finish your prison term. I broke some rule in the third infraction, which I don't see how I did, but that's okay. They say I did. There was no defense for me. When you're a prisoner, there's a lot of things you don't have. They try to take your rights away from you. You could argue to your blue in the face. You could give them any story you want. To them, you're going back. Well, for me, I got 26 days left. You're going to send me back to prison? 26 days? No, we're going to send you to Pinellas County Jail. I said, oh, no. Then when they told me that, send me back to prison. I'm not going to Pinellas County. I'll die in there. Their food is like for dogs. They don't serve nothing edible. And there's no room there. I'm not sleeping on the floor. He goes, well, that's where you're going. So I waited. Now, this is when I first got there. I broke the rule with my first 3 days. I didn't know. He goes, this is what he asked me. And he was right. But he called me and he goes, did you read the rules that we sent you to prison? Because they sent me out the booklet prior to me coming to the halfway house to read. This is what you have to do. If you can't do it, don't sign it. We won't bring you here. I signed it without reading it. Another thing I took for granted, I'm going to slide through it. I'll be the first one. I did not read one rule. I figured, yeah. I'm just getting out of prison. I'm going to halfway house. I'm going to be able to go out and get a job. I'm going to work. I'm going to go out and be out, walk around, breathe, go to McDonald's. I'm out as far as I'm concerned. 58 days is when I got my last 58 days. They sent me to halfway house. I didn't read none of it. She came. They called my name up. It was the person that ran the dorm. Catalano, inmate Catalano, come to my office. Yes, ma'am. Here's your booklet. Read it. You got 2 hours. Sign it or don't sign it. If you sign it, I send it through. You'll be leaving next month to the halfway house. Okay. She goes, you got about 89 days left or something. She said, when you get down to 60 days, we'll send you out. I just signed it and got it back to her. I was ecstatic that I got approved. So I get there and I right away, third day I broke a rule. Okay, fine. So they come to me, they says, you know what, it's out of our hands, BOP's gonna come get you. So I had just got a job with Hertz Rent-A-Car. It's ironic because Hertz Rent-A-Car, I'm on the black do not rent list, and they hired me. I tried to use that later on after I lost the job, because they took it away from me. I said, hey, but let me ask you a question. My license passed for a job, and I go, so that means I must not be on this do not rent sign and do not rent list. And when she looked it up, she goes, yeah, you're fine. She goes, wait a minute, did you say you were on the ban list? She went to another part of the computer and she goes, oh, there you go. I don't know how human resources missed this. You should have never been hired. And I'm like, well, I got a paycheck from you guys. So the first thing that they did at the halfway house is, you're locked into BOP comes to get you. I go, I just got the job. They go, you're not allowed to go anywhere. So now I'm nuts because everybody's leaving and going to their jobs. They're going, families picking them up. They're spending weekends with the families. You could do that if you follow certain protocol. I'm one of 5 people that are locked in there. I'm locked in there with 4 chomos that they are not allowed out anywhere. They ain't allowed to use the internet. And I got one guy sneaking in, trying to get me to watch for him till he goes on the internet. Hey, fuck you. I'm in enough trouble. Now they couldn't give me no more time. I didn't break a law. I broke a rule. So all I had left was 58 days of my sentence. So I was like, all right, now every day I'm going up there. When are they coming to get me? I don't want to be here no more. Let me go back to Coleman prison. You're not going to Coleman. Finally, after 58 days, 28 days later, they get call me and says, you're leaving this Thursday. So on the 26th day that I had left, they brought me to Pinellas County. Now I'm in. There was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Ring that bell, Bobby.
That big bell for
Ding, 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 ding.
Rev Fugly.
$100.
Man, oh man. $100. Joey, you are a good dude. You're doing what you love to do and having fun. That's true. I actually broke down yesterday, apologizing to my wife for being such a dick, and didn't realize that it really was taking a toll on her. But she also said, I know you love doing this. I know you do. I see the happiness in you. And the bottom line is I do. I enjoy this. I enjoy the arguing. I enjoy it all. I do. It's a sick way that I do, but I do. I enjoy the people I meet. I enjoy the people I argue with. I enjoy the people that hate me. I enjoy the people that I hate. And I try to say hate's a strong word. Having fun. Keep doing you. That's the important thing. The money and all the rest works itself out. You're right. God always finds a way. And that's one thing I will learn. You'll always work out. It always has for me. And for anybody that I've heard that has chosen a path of not always being a law-abiding citizen. None of you should take ourselves too seriously. It's all good fun. Bob gives great advice in that. He does. He does. Oh my God. Look at this.
He just dropped another 50.
Shit.
Just don't go to Turkey for your dental work. You might lose your shit over there. Thanks for doing that for all of us. Not just me. Catalano for life, bud. I also love TSN. I might be fucking around a little. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. I got you. I got to read this. Red Fugly, thank you for the $50. Just don't go to Turkey for dentist work. God bless it, Bob. What are you doing to yourself, Bob? I looked at you, Bob. You look sick, Bob. He looks like it took a lot of his life, didn't it? He's so pale. I feel so bad for him.
He's got to eat that disgusting food.
He aged, though. If you see him on the camera and you look at him just a week ago, Bob looked like he aged like 20 years with them taking out his teeth. And God, please, we need you, Bob Levy. I love you. You might lose shit over there. Thanks for doing this all for us, not just me. Catalano TV for life, buddy. Also, I love TSM. Might be freaking a little wink, wink. I got you, buddy, because I love them for life, too. I can't ever thank Shuli Network for what they've done for me and believed in me. He was the one guy that said, don't walk away, man. You are liked and loved by a lot of people. I'm going to show you this. And as time goes on, he is so right. Forget it. You can't. Red Fugly, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, I'm honored, man. And again, I apologize for a couple weeks ago. I'm too dumb to figure out that for me to just do that purposely. I appreciate that you admired me for that, but thank you. But Shuli and Bob both are the ones that just talk to me. And they know they look at how many times Bob is what they showed me, and Bob goes, look how happy he looked. He's so happy doing this, and Bob just gets so great with it. And Bob will text me and say, just do you. Stop paying. And I never listen to nobody. And they admire the fact that I had the balls enough to go as far as I did with the people that hated me and the trolls. I'm a trooper. I'm a guy you want on your team when you're going to go to war, because if I believe in something, that's just me. And I can't change that. And I think what Fugly is saying, just do you. What everybody tells me, do you, what makes you happy. If that's your personality, do it. And that's what I do. But the bottom line is, I enjoy this. I really like this. This is the hardest thing to break away from. You're here. You're a free spirit. You're talking about things that you probably wouldn't talk about on a normal scale with people. Most people wouldn't talk any of this, their private life and their wrongs and what they do and their embarrassment moments. And it just, Bob, like, it just rolls right off you. I don't get embarrassed. I don't let that stuff. I'm not ashamed. Pat Dixon said it. That motherfucker, he sure ain't camera shy. He sure ain't afraid to talk about anything. He don't worry about consequences. I don't. I really don't. I'm grateful for everything at the end of the day. And I think I get this for the most part. And there are some things I take to the heart. I won't lie. I'm not going to sit here and sit through. I get upset when people call me out when I know they know they're freaking straight lying on me. That's where I have to look. That's where I have my struggles. That's when they get me the best. That's when they get me the best. When they know we know how to fire them. Like when I was like being a dud for a couple of weeks, I was just being mellow. It was mellow Joey. And they were digging. People were like all over. We dig no. But there was people that come at me. Stop it. Stop it. This ain't you. They were provoking. And they knew to push my buttons the way to do it is that all we got to do is just stay on him. I've watched it in Discord make them plot. I've seen what they were going to do to fire me up. The bottom line is everybody loves Joey C fired up more than they love Joey C calm. They want the arguments. They want to see me crazy. And this is where Tukey and El Replay and Rocco, my cousin, is just trying to make the point. You're that type of personality. People want to see the real you, how you interact at a grocery store, how you go driving down traffic and start cussing somebody, how you were at the house and maybe you're farting all over the place or watching a movie, how you're getting upset watching a movie. Do you get emotional? This is what he's trying to, and I get it. I get it. I just don't like people ordering me to do that. And they're not. The bottom line is I evaluate they're not. They just want the best. And he's shown great concern, Rocco did, about, come on, man, look at where you're living. You're not a young man no more. You can't see everything like you used to. You can't fight like you used to. You're not as, he's right. And any mistake can jump off and someone could come at me. It'll be too late. When you're cracked out and you're a homeless, you don't know what direction you. I've got people, I walk out there and they're staring you down and they start talking and you're like, I got to get immediately loud with them. Hopefully that I'll scare them back to fucking not come over to that part. But don't get me wrong. My heart's adrenaline starts fucking pumping. Oh my God. This guy looks like a fucking, first of all, he looks like a monster. 2, he's about 30 years younger than me. And 3, he's got a weapon in his hand. I'm not that good. I could defend myself, but it takes one thing. If he's got a weapon, or if he's got a gun, I'm done. If he's got a knife, he cuts me in the wrong place, I'm bleeding out. And 3, if he cracks me in the head with something, then I'm going to keel over and I could die. So am I fast enough to take that weapon from him? I don't know. I can't say I am. Do I know how to defend myself? Yes, 110%. Am I going to be as quick as I was 30 years ago? Nowhere near. Am I going to be out of breath after fucking 5 seconds? Probably. If I don't succeed in the first 5 seconds, he's going to have me done on the ground. If I don't get my punch in or hit him in the throat or put him in the knees and break his kneecaps, I'm done. I know this. I understand this. I'm not going to nowhere shape for it be a stuttering John and stay here. Now, John, he looks like he's probably in a little bit better shape to me lately. I don't know. But John claims now, in his defense, I think he knows how to defend himself. I think he's had a lot of experience defending himself in his life, being that he's a piece of shit. So would John be a good opponent scrapping? I think he would be. With a guy like me, I think the 2 old guys would be, we'd both be out of breath, probably both on the ground. Do I think a guy that's in physical shape, 20 years old, would pulverize John, would pulverize me? The only shot we got is our experience that he don't have. That's it. It's going to be an instant. It's over in 1 minute if I don't succeed. Rep Fugly, thank you for the fight. I love Bob. I'm not going to stop fucking with him. The tan is fair. Yeah, Bob probably does go to tan. I don't know. Never asked him, but Bob is the best. I've learned a lot. And the one thing that I think I do too much of is, yes, I'm in the house with my wife, and yes, she's got her things going. She'll be doing things around the house, or my wife loves tools. She loves being a mechanic. She loves being a carpenter. She'll retweak something in the house, put shelves up. She'll make things so much better. She loves rugs. I like this new rug. I'm going to buy it. When we get our checks out, okay, honey. She likes to have nice things, but she never asks for nothing. And she don't have to go buy brand new at retail. She'll look for the best deal, or she'll find people rich people that are selling stuff out of their house, or even people that are giving away stuff. And how many times I picked up something from a rich home, a mansion, that they were giving something away? And for us, that's like a home run, you know. But she'll go out most of the time to buy new rugs, you know, or she'll look for the guy we got guys in the corner here with vans that hang in big rugs all over the place. Have you seen them, right, Lou? You've seen those guys out on the street?
I used to see a lot of those in Miami.
Yeah, great. They got the big rugs the throw rugs that are big, and they're nice styles, and there's a lot of nice styles. And she's very good at decorating, but she's a good mechanic. She does more mechanic work than I've done in my whole life. She'll get under a car with tools and grease and try to fix something. She's very talented in many ways. A prostitute, she's not. Never have she ever done that. She's never done that. She's not a hoe. She's never hoed. Yes, she was a dealer at one time in her life, and that's where she commanded respect, and they all respect her because she was good at that. Believe it or not, she had a great job. She used to be working in the medical industry. When she became a felon, she lost that. She's done a lot of things I won't even talk about, where she was a very good mother, and then she got in a car accident, and the pain pills changed her whole life to a 10-year destruction of her life.
Oh, dude.
And she's
No,
been through
look.
two prison sentences, lost a daughter, and still smiles every day.
I can tell you, my stepfather's brother lost his daughter last year to pain pills.
Oh,
She was
no.
she's a few years younger than my middle brother, who's in his late 30s, early 40s. So you know, at the end, she had 3 kids.
Yeah, that's the tough part, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell
So
you, I'm gonna
being
top
on
that.
those fucking pills, it's not easy to get off of them. It really
Any
isn't.
any pain medication, which is a Schedule 2 narcotic, I believe, which is talking about Dilaudid, morphine, stuff in that range, is so addicting that when every surgery I had, I refused it because I know how much of an addict I was. Now, I'm not a downer guy. I've always was a speed freak. I always was a guy that already had the adrenaline, already had naturally, before I ever touched a drug, I was at 10 decimals naturally. That's just the way I was born. Loud, very good vocal cords. Put that with cocaine, now you're 100 point decimal Joey C. Put
Yo,
meth in that product, 350% Joey C. So this me being as hype as I am, this is the normal 10-point decibel Joey C that I am. My mother used to not let me allow to her house after 10 o'clock. Her neighbors would complain. And that was me talking normal. I was that loud.
do you
I wasn't
talk loud?
allowed. I couldn't go to my mother's house when she lived in an apartment. The building would complain. So I wasn't
So
allowed there because
I
my
gotta
mother
ask.
knows she couldn't fix it. It was just part of me. So and what makes my joy for me is here's my wife, 2 prison sentences, 10 years of a down structure, lost everything in her life because of a pain med of an accident. These doctors string you out and then they take it from you. They get you on it, get you all leveled off, and they say you can't get it. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to be able to stop cold turkey? They go on the streets and start buying the pills at $50 a pop. So they went from having a script on their insurance for free to having to pay $50 a pill. So yes, the reputation of women are, my buddy used to brag, that's the best 88-cent blowjob I ever got. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, I buy the scripts. I get a script every month. I pay 88 cents a pill, 30 pills. You figure out what he paid. He goes, so every time I get a blowjob and I give him a pill, it's 88 cents. That's what it costs me. He makes jokes about that to all the girls that are out there sucking dick. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. My wife went the opposite. She said, there's no way in hell I'm pimping myself out being a hoe. She became a dealer and very good at it. That's how I met her. I couldn't get the shit one day and said, you should go over to so-and-so. And I'm like, I don't buy from women. I don't do business with women. That was my policy coming from Chicago. And they go, trust me, she's straight up. She's just no playing with her. She's not a hoe. I'm telling you, she's a people respect her. So I met her. She treated me right. She took a liking to me right away. She had a boyfriend. I respected him. He hated me. Every time I pulled up my BMW, I was always dressed nice. And I was the only person. She ran the store. She goes, would you just stay here? You don't have to. She kicked everybody else, tell me I could stay there. She knew right off the bat, looking in my eyes, I was not a thief. I always came correct with money. I drove a nice car. She knew I had class. I had manners. I respected her. I never hit on her. And she knew I was married. And finally, she went away. But when I found out she was out, she was single, and I was done with my marriage. It was over. And I asked her out. And the rest is history. So good on me for acting at the right time. Timing was everything. But then I thought it really that she just made jokes of it. I didn't realize. And she said, you think about it. She goes, I don't even know how I could get up every day and smile with losing my daughter. What you've created on the internet, I've always backed you. But she says enough's enough. She got mad and hurt by Rocco because we sat with him, had lunch. We were at the ball game with him. We met his wife. He was very happy to see that we were normal people. He was respecting us, and we had met him more than once. We've been in a room with him. She was upset that she really thought he was a friend of ours, and that he was sincere.
He can be, but he's just.
That's what upset her more than anything. And then me sitting there praising him, and that's what set her off with me. You're sitting there and saying these guys are good guys. They're not. Think about it. We've met them. We've been with them. We socialized with them. They said all these things about us in public, but look at what they're doing behind our back. That's why she got mad at me. Be a fucking man and fucking fuck them, motherfucker. That's what she said to me. And she's right. Stand up for me. Stand up for. I do. She goes, you do take up for me every day, but you're still you're praising them like they're your friends. They're not our friends. They're not. Realize that. They just proved it. And you know what? At the end of the day, she was 100% right. Just because I met these people and they've said these kind of things about me, which was all phony anyhow, at the bottom line, they think of me as the bottom of the barrel, that I'm a scumbag that has no talent, and that's what they make jokes about. It's just they make fun of you, and you allow it. The man I met and knew would never allow someone to do this to them. You would draw a line and say, "Fuck you," motherfuckers. And I do that, but she says, but then you go back and you kissed her ass. Stop kissing her ass. Stop doing their shows. Fuck them. Same with Ray DeVito. She thought she was really like Ray. She said, that's the biggest phony cocksucker out there. Listen to me. I'm right. He's nothing but using you. Shuli tried to tell me all this shit. Shuli tried. Bob tried.
Joey, but you don't like to listen.
I don't. All the good people stepped forward and told me they're just laughing at you. They're just trying to use you for content. And then when that fucking Buckman or whatever said I make no content, I'm like, you're fucking crazy. Everybody laughs at you. Well, you know what? I start to believe you're right. Most people do laugh at me, not with me. But they're not going to take away TSN from me. They are my friends, my true friend. I'm not their locale. I'm not their fucking puppet. And I'm definitely not their fucking whack packer. There's a true friendship there. Carl and I believe, have a strong friendship. I thought me and Rocco did, but obviously, if it wasn't a part of this Dabblever, he probably wouldn't be the guy who would ever approach me to talk to me, and I would have never met. So I understand it. That's what they do. And they're very talented at it. So he made the choice, and that's what upset my wife. That's why this all happened. This is why this all happened. It's about respect. And then I get people every day, you're taking this too serious. Just blow it off, ignore them. And you're right. I could have probably saved a lot of face. But that's it, Rug Fugly. That's the whole real truth to the Bean story for everybody. Again, I didn't want to. There's nothing to go bad against Kahuna. Kahuna showed he's a real man. He showed me he's class. He showed me he's a down-to-earth man. I tried to send him a link, and he wrote me back, I don't think this is the time. And if you're setting me up to make a mockery of me, I'll never let that happen again. And you know what? He has all the right to think that of me. He has all the right.
That was never the plan.
But I told him, I swear to you.
Have an annual conversation with the man.
He says, you're going to look stupid by bringing me back on. You just said you would never let me on any of your shows, and you want me to come. He goes, I think you're setting me up. And I go, you have all the right to think that. Maybe somewhere down the line. I really respect him, even more so after seeing that interview. He could have sat there, and he could have lied and kept that lie going and buried me. He could have made it all about him and buried me with a lie. But he didn't. He told the truth, and he chose not to answer things. And that's the way I should have been, instead of me going around popping off about him. And that's what I was wrong doing. And I hope someday he will come on as a guest. I hope someday he will come back in the chat room. He was in there last night. He was in there with Alpha Shot Lounge the other night. He came in for a few minutes. I seen him around he's popping up little by little in other chat rooms. And I believe he went on Jason's show the other night, didn't he?
Yeah. I think it was last week.
Last week, I think he popped in. So
he was on the Lunatic Lounge too.
Yeah, one of them. I know he was on somewhere. And I'm glad for him, because he made me really think it. He says, you turned everybody against me by talking behind my back. And that was not the problem. And even then I was taking responsibility. It was both of us. I just got upset for the one thing, and I should have just let it go and let him do his thing. And I'm just glad it all worked out. And I'm glad, because, hey, never again. I'm not about doing works. I'm not funny. I'm not going to sit here and plan a comedian thing. I won't make it work. I got to just be natural. For me to be natural, us to be natural. They don't like Lou, okay? Well, Rocco and his people begged me to dump Lou. They begged me to get rid of Lou.
You know what I say to them? They can suck my ass crack, and I don't give a fuck.
And that's the truth. And I feel I don't come in you and tell you. And then like last night he goes, well, we're going to see. Everybody says OJ's the backbone. OJ's down here. We'll see if he's the talent. I think it's the combination of all together makes the talent. Not that Rocco by himself is very talented, but it would fizz out a lot faster if the other play. Same with TSN. Shuli by himself is great. He's proven he can do shows by himself and hold an audience. He's proven that. But you take Bob and Tim, you put Mike, who's personality, and threw Zen in the mix, which was the key piece. They're perfect. They're gold. It's the same thing. Yes, Kahuna was a guy that didn't yes me to death. Kahuna was a guy that didn't take my shit for me. Kahuna was a guy that didn't get angry. He was perfect. Lou is the same personality as me. He's a type A. He's got a temper like me. He flies off the handle. We're good for each other because when I see him going too far, I'll pull him back. When he sees me go to him, and I think Lou and I work well together. I think we will always work well together, and I'm happy with it. And I don't care if people are not going to like this, like that. Now, Rocco, I still don't understand. You suck. The morning show sucks. Get rid of that guy. He brings nothing. But I love watching Joey C. I got to have me Joey C. I don't get that. If you hate me and I suck, why would you want to watch me? Why? Are you just saying it because you want me to keep being an idiot so you can keep taking content? Now you said you're not. So it's like I'm fucking lost here, man. So here's the bottom line. Rug Fugly just said it. Bob Levy tells me this all the time. Shuli tells me, my wife tells me, Lou tells me, Bobby says that. Don't leave. Don't give him that. Be you. All I can do is be me. I never know what I'm going to bring you to the table, what mood I'm in. I can't plan it. I refuse to plan it because it's not organically going to be, it's not going to work. If I try to plan to be angry, it doesn't work. It's got to be from my heart. Haters probably want you to take Lou off the show because their show is actually functioning decently. You're probably right. That's what I thought. I'm like, you guys just don't like it because we're going to making something out of the show. We're making something. And they all do the same, Melton. With his 23 views, with his 10 views. Okay, what are we talking about? Because I showed that the other day. I've never had one of my shows be 10 views. Now, we're not pulling no rocket numbers. The walk and talk I get, it was successful. People think I killed the successful show because I'm afraid of success. I killed it because I was unhealthy. If I was healthy and I was a fucking rock, I could do that in the heat. I could do that if I was a young man. Lou, if you were healthy and 25 years younger, that would be no problem for you, right? If you were 200 pounds lighter or whatever, 150 pounds lighter, and you were in your prime and strong as that would be no problem to walk through that heat, right?
No, it would.
Not at all.
It would be more encouraging for us to keep.
Correct.
The fucking heat. What people don't get, this humidity is so bad that it gives us headaches.
Right. It does. Bad.
Really?
Bobby,
gives us headaches, and then the next day we're like
drained.
Can't do on a show and can't.
I went from my house to Lou's house. Right, Lou picked Lou up. Yeah. We went to Kentucky Fried. I was dead during the meal. I was so drained.
He wasn't his normal self that day. It was hot out.
It was bad, man.
It was a bad. It was bad. Day. And then the next day, look what happens.
Right, I got stuck in traffic. 35 minutes from that.
Low energy. The Busting Balls show. He was on, stopped to go do pineapples, and he just couldn't come back. It was just one of those scenarios.
Right. I got it.
You got to pick and choose when you want to do stuff in this fucking hard heat. Like, I went, was it last weekend or the weekend before? I'm going out to my cousin's house. We had breakfast, got together as the family and all this. Right. And just being in the heat for 15 minutes, I was done.
Yeah.
The heat is no joke.
I picked Lou up in the. Here's the funny thing. I'm driving and I'm talking. And Lou's outside. Lou's outside pacing. He's outside pacing on the corner. And I go right fuck. Lou looks at me. He rings the. I flew past him. And I'm like, because this was the second time. The instructions were really good. The GPS. And I go, I think this is it. And we found them. The second time, I'm cocky. I know where he lives. I'm telling him, just don't try that GPS. And I go, but we just passed him. And there's Lou going, call me. Yeah, you just passed me. I go, yeah, I know. And then Lou gets in there. He steps in, and Lou's a fat fuck too, like me, but even worse. You understand? So now Lou's out with a smile. Lou's got his knees. He's smiling from ear to ear. He's going to fucking KFC. That's all he cares a fuck about. We're going to KFC, man. Let's go. He gets in the hot van. It's fucking. He's got to go. It's not right behind me. He's got to go all the way to the back of the van where all the heat is. And it's about 5 or 6 minutes to the KFCs, and he can't wait to jump out of that fucking. And then we're up at the counter, the three of us, and we're like, And I'm like, this is fucking sad how we fucking let ourselves go. Oh, we're degenerate fucks, man. We are, man.
Yo,
Oh,
but I won't trade your hoopty for nothing, man. I mean,
oh my God.
that hoopty's the shit. I love the tied up bumper. It literally reminds me of my old days in Miami.
Oh my God. It's so funny to see us naturally together. And I'm like, why are we not filming it? So I get Rocco's point about you got to film it. Why ain't you out there when the cops were taking pops out of there? They're right. I missed a big moment here. I should have been out there again. And Luke,
These are things
Pineapple.
you don't think of.
I just don't think of it. It's after it was told to me, and I'm listening to Rocco say it, and people say it. I'm like, God, they're so right. I didn't when I was told the cops were out there cleaning the house of my landlord. I didn't want to go out there and deal with my landlord. I didn't want to get locked in a conversation with him. That's my first and foremost thing. I turned the fucking computer off, all the music, whatever's going on, and I turned the lights off and I went to sleep. I didn't want to deal with him. I didn't want to deal with him. He'd get talking to me about doing 20 different things for him. So I just hid. I hid away from seeing the landlord. Long and be short, he got taken away in an ambulance, rushed to the hospital. He passed out or something from the heat out there. And he's in pretty good shape. And he fainted. He went down for the count with all the aggravation. So there you go. If he fainted, he works every day, 15 hours a day, slinging a hammer, slinging equipment. And the guy builds, and he's outside. And he collapsed. That's how humid it is here. Greg Fugly, thank you for the $5. I got arrested in Juarez, Mexico at 17. Thank you, buddy. That's a hell of a place to get. Juarez, Mexico, which I believe is Juarez. Is that the Juarez? That's not the Arizona border. Is that one of the Texas borders? I've been to 3 ports. I've been through the Arizona border at Mexico. That's where I had my bad experience when I was in spring training. Getting in a fight and got bailed out for $34.75 because that's all my friend had on them. I have street cred. You know, it's funny that exactly what he's saying is true because it goes by what you got in your pocket. I had 1,700, and they knew I had it because I was flashing the money in the strip club in Mexico, and they knew exactly what I fucking had. They set me up. They fucking when we left the strip club, the fucking military police were out there and took us and walked us. And I get there. How much did we get? You got 1,500, right? They knew exactly. I spent 200 in that place, and I think the girl got so close to me when I kept pulling out the money that she was counting. She had a photograph. She was counting exactly how many hundreds I had, and that's exactly what he asked for, or else you get a burrito in your ass. And they walked me to the border. These military police. They took my they didn't leave us gas money. We made it to the parking lot of the fucking Ranger Stadium. I had to be there at 5:30 for Buck. Pulled up at 5:29, and here comes Buck through the fuck gate. I'm drunker than shit. I'm fucking broke, and we ran out of gas, and we just left the car and went back and I got Bucks and went out there, pushed the car. All I wanted to do was go. I wanted to go into the bat room. I made a little cubby hole in the bat room that I could put a blanket in there. My boss fucked me. Boombox, come here, I need you. Because he's the one who told me go lay down for a couple hours. But he fucked with me. Every time I lay down, he'd come and get me. And he would go, come on, you want to do some dip with me? Come on, let's go. I start going and running to the bathroom, throw up. He would be like, hey, you want to smoke a cigarette? And blow cigarette smoke on my face. He fucked with me all fucking day. And then when it came time to start letting guys go home early, everybody, when I go, are you serious? I'm a full timer. I should be the first one to go. Oh no, you're staying to the end. You will be the last one to lock up like you always do. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I didn't tell you to go get drunk last time. I didn't tell you to go out. I didn't tell you to be a big shot. I didn't tell you. You know you got work today.
That's right.
Stay, and everything better be the way it's supposed to be when I come in the morning. And I'm like, you're fucking killing me. He says, this is a life lesson, pal. You don't get a break because you're a boss. You don't get a break because you run shit. You're going to set an example to your fucking people. These are all your people you brought into work spring training. And I'm not letting you go home to fucking do this so they can see that. You stayed to the end. That's what I did.
Joey, we need to touch on this real quick.
What is it?
He got hit with the RICO Act.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
It's interesting how...
He's going. He's done. They got him. He's going to prison. He's done. Maybe life. Maybe life in prison.
My question is, they got these videos. Who is the government going to blackmail with these videos? It's going to happen.
Right. Are they tying him with Epstein or something?
kind of, in a sense, he's got his own version of it. His freak offs are their own
But
Epstein.
he knows them. He's associated with him at one point, right? They caught him associated.
Oh,
That's the
I
RICO
don't
Act.
know if he associated with Epstein personally, but his acts are on that level, just without an.
If you're associated with an associate of associate of associate of an associate that fucking links to him, if you're down the chain of an associate, that's a RICO Act. You're gone.
Well, no, his RICO is because of sex trafficking,
Okay.
drugs,
Okay.
and there was one other
Minors?
thing that they-
Minors? Any minors?
trafficking, drugs, there
Trafficking
was
people?
something. Yeah, he was because he's moving them across state line.
No, that's it right there. That's interstate.
right there.
That's why it's federal. Interstate right there. Anything over state lines, drugs, prostitution, anything you move to another state in the commission of a crime becomes federal. Probably going to get 100 years.
Listening to the shit that they were throwing out, the man had over 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I saw that. I saw that yesterday.
How much baby oil do you need to rub on people?
I saw that yesterday. Unbelievable. I mean, I listen. I mean,
And you would think with the billions of dollars, he's probably, a 1 point something billion dollar person, but like, bro, when you have that kind of money, that power gets to your head.
yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
do such stupid things.
Was he a guy that driven to success because of his talent? Absolutely. Did he monopolize on other people's talent? He was good at that. I mean, didn't
Yeah.
at one time he was with Eminem? Didn't he one of the guys that originally signed Eminem?
No,
I believe. No. Wasn't he associated with Eminem in some way?
No.
Never. Well, who am I thinking of then? Who was his
Dr.
big
Dre.
dog? Who was his big
You're
dog?
thinking of Dr. Dre.
Oh, Dr. Dre. Okay, that's right. I'm thinking Dr. Dre. So that was his big. He worked for somebody in the
Biggie's big
beginning, right?
person was Notorious Big.
The BIG, right? That was his first
Yes.
big guy, right?
Yes.
Biggie. But he was a flunky when he first started out, right? And he stole
was a
from every.
dancer.
Huh?
He was he liked to dance, and he was an intern
Right.
for Andre Herrera at I can't remember the record label, but
But he got fired, didn't he? And he broke out on his own and he took Biggie and he became big.
yeah, he found Biggie and Biggie was his stepping stone into becoming who he became.
Right. And now, is he one of the ones that was linked to betray Biggie, or was part of any of that, or him being killed?
It's speculated, but you can't, because Biggie was gonna do, perform his contract. I think he had a 3-album deal, and once his contract was up, he was gonna branch out on his own
Right.
and go do his own thing. Kind of the same thing with Tupac.
Right. I was just gonna ask you about Tupac. Wasn't he in that realm somewhere too?
Yes, he's linked to hiring the person who killed Tupac. The question is, will that come out?
I don't know. Well, it's going to be an interesting. This is going to be another OJ trial.
You think OJ?
This is going to be, but he was murdered. But this is going to be as high profile
Oh, it's
as the
going to be
OJ.
a high profile. Yes,
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
This is going to be a long stepping stone in court for a length of time. It's going to be a long trial. It's going to be probably bigger than the OJ trial as far as publicity and probably in the media eye. And this is going to be another OJ. It's bigger than the OJ thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing some names that are going to come out of this.
The quote of the day will be: the condom don't fit, you must have quit.
And here's the problem. This would have never happened if he was smart and would have just paid off Cassie when she came at him the first time. He called
Can
her
I tell you
bluff,
something?
and then that bluff fucked him.
Can I tell you something? You want to know what wins every time?
Women.
The Bermuda Triangle wins every time.
Is that what you call the box?
That's right, the Bermuda Triangle. When you get trapped in the Bermuda Triangle, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much power you got. That bitch will fucking take you down and fucking get everything out of you and drain every last fucking soul you out of there with the Bermuda Triangle. If she knows how to work that Bermuda Triangle, it's all over for the most powerful men in the world. Proven fact right here again. He didn't think with this head. He thought with the head down there. Another one bites the dust. Bump, bump, bump. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites. Another one bites. Another one's going to bite.
I don't think they're going to kill him in prison.
I don't know. If he comes out linked to any type of children, with any children trafficking or teenage girls, he ain't gonna be safe in prison.
Well, remember he's been. Well, so
I don't give a fuck who he is. I don't care who he is. You're gonna get. It might not be the blacks. The blacks might protect him. He's gonna need to pay a lot of. Let's hope they don't take his money because he's gonna need the money for protection. He's gonna have to pay a lot of people. But I think someone else. I think the white supremacists will take a hit at him. I think they will.
That's what they'll try to pin it on.
I think they will.
If he does, but
You think you think what's his name is what is being R. Kelly's got no problems?
Oh no, he's had a few scuffles in prison.
Yeah, could have a lot more. Probably that weren't even told. And R. Kelly was right out of Chicago, and that was a dog of dog. That man raped, no doubt in my mind, raped women all day long.
He's a fucking idiot because he's another one who he got away with it that first time, even though that's clear as day it's him on that VHS pissing on that girl and doing all that shit.
Right.
He packed the blame to his brother and stuff.
Right.
That should have been his fucking over to be like, you know what? Let me.
I caught it. I got it. Right.
With these little young people, they got to be 18 and up. And no, his fucked up psychology going through his brain is like, oh, I got away with it. I could get away with it again. That shit eventually catches up to you.
Well, I agree. It's like when you get away with something that major, and here's the one thing that no one should do, and you see it every day in life. It's typical of a regular street thug gangbanger, one that is just, he wears the pants that hang off the ass. He goes into court with the wife beater. He goes in with all the what's up, dog? What up, man? He goes in flagging everything showing, and the pants hanging up there. And the judge looks at him and goes, "Man, I was already giving you 10 years, but you just gave me an opportunity to give you life. You come into my court like that, you piece of shit." And it's mine, the judge is saying, "I got your ass now." And they just like, whatever, man. I didn't do shit, motherfucker. Come on, man. And the judge looks at him, man. Judge is saying there, I was going to give that boy 10 years to give him a little break. You get 25, motherfucker, just because you came in my court. That's why when you're caught, you're caught. Respect the fact they caught you. Don't pick apart that they're a piece of shit. Don't sit there and say that if they catch you, and they did it right without lying and not blackmailing or planting evidence. If they got you, they got you. There's no sense of you going to court and disrespecting the prosecutor. There's no sense of disrespecting the judge. You go to dress properly. You go there, you take your punishment. It will go a long way if you're respectful and dress properly. Do you know how many times I went into court and I had a female judge? A female judge says, "Mr. Catalano, I want to first and foremost thank you for what, Your Honor? First of all, I love that vest you got on." She said, "What is that?" It was a cigar vest. It had all kinds of cigars on it. It was from the cigar club. It was a really badass vest I bought. And I had a pair of black slacks on, a pack of black Italian shoes. I had a blazer on, and my white shirt, and I had a tie on. And the tie was a cigar tie that matched the vest. And I took the jacket off when I went up to this thing, and it was a little hot, and I was a little nervous. And she complimented me. And I had the prosecutor compliment me, which was also a female. I had the court report. Everybody just said, this is how people should come here. Now you're here because what? Well, because I'm accused of this and I'm hoping, but you came so respectful. Thank you for dressing so well that I'm very impressed. From that point on, I had that judge, and I went like that every court. That judge always smiled at me. You know that? Knew that she had to be right. I don't know if she was going to sentence me, but she fucking liked me because I respected her. You understand? And that's when I got the deal for the checks. If you pay all this back, you tell us what you want to do. I'll call for court every month till it's paid off. I said, I need this much money, this amount of time. And I lived to every bit of that. And that's when the deal came in place that the felonies be dropped and I became one misdemeanor. And that's how it would play out. And they wanted to renege on it. She said, "Oh, no. He's done everything we asked. You're doing this." And they had no choice. But at the point, they tried to fucking lie and get me to think I was caught dead to right. I had to pay it back. I knew. The only thing is I should have never been in court. It should have never been in court. If I would have got the original letters from the state attorney, I would have made a deal with them without going to court and being charged. Fortunately, that's what happened. So, but the point is, it goes a long way. You listen to so many mob guys that been. Why go when you're caught? You're caught. Give them the respect. You don't have to like police. You don't have to like prosecutors. You don't have to like judges. But listen, when they catch you and they are being honest with the evidence, Do not make a mockery out of them because they will win every time in the long run. I got a friend that got double life for selling drugs. Another guy got out for murder 25 years later. He's walking free that I knew. This guy I'll never see daylight. He's 60 years old. Got double life for selling drugs. He was a 6-time or 7-time offender. I think it was the 7th time, and this would have 7 times already in the prison. 8th time went before the same judge that convicted him the 1st and the 3rd time. That judge is still around and said, I had enough of this guy. I've convicted him, thrown him in prison. He has learned nothing. He gets fucking what they call an habitual. He's habitualized as a drug dealer. He goes away. 2 life sentences. I talked to him the other day. He called me. I said, "How you doing, buddy?" He said, "Well, I beat cancer. They operated on me. They opened me up, and I had cancer. They got it out. Hopefully, He looked good. He sent me some pictures through their email. He looks great. I said, but he goes, I go, "You still fighting?" He goes, "I'm still fighting, but yeah, I don't know if I got a chance to even." I go, "You never know. If laws change, there's been many guys that have life sentences that have got turned around for guys like you. You did no horrendous crimes. You didn't hurt nobody. Have hope. Now, can he outlive it? Somewhere in the next 10 years, will the laws change up where they're going to say, we got to reverse his sentence and let him out? He's already did 20. He's going home. We hope that, because a guy was locked up in federal prison, had life in prison for selling drugs out of Philadelphia. He came to the camp, and I'm like, "You're a lifer. Why are you here?" He goes, "They're going to reverse my decision. I won. A new law came in on the books that let me go home." So they brought him to the camp. He went to a hearing. The judge exonerated him from a life sentence. He had 25 years in, and he walked out of the camp and went to the halfway house with me. He had life in prison 25 years ago. The man lives in Orlando, got a job driving a truck, got a CDL, is home. His mother passed away while he was in the halfway house. He almost made it home to be with his mother. She passed away a week before he got out.
Oh, that sucks.
A week before he got out. He promised his mother that he would come home someday, and she hung on for 25 years. It's the saddest story. I broke down in tears when he was telling me in the day room. It was just him and I talking. He was crying so much. He was crying happy tears that he's going home. His sister picked him up. My brother-in-law picked me up. We drove on the highway to the halfway house together. He gave me a hug. He says, "I can't believe I'm free." He goes, "I will never break a law ever again." And this man will go on to be someone great that will help people. He's involved with his church. This man is going to bring up big numbers. He's healthy as 25 years in prison, a hardcore prison. The man came out stacked. He was a fucking 6-pack. Short guy, shorter than me, about 5'5", fucking stacked, chest out to here. The guy was in such fear. I go, "I bet you." He goes, "Well," he goes, "as much as I want to go find a little girlfriend," he goes, "I need to tend to all my stuff here first." But now he's met somebody. He's in love. He's getting boot day every day now. So that's back. He's physical fit. He's got a job. He's involved in a church. This guy's going to do a lot of good. He's going to help a lot of kids. He's going to teach a lot of young kids that his story alone, it happens. So I'm hopeful for my friend that he'll get that same blessing someday. It may never happen. He may die in 5 years. He just beat cancer. He's not healthy 100%. So prison life drains the life out of you. If you go into prison sick, your life span is going to be, and they don't tell when people get killed. You don't see one iota of anything in the prison system. Someone got shanked. People die every day. Bodies don't get claimed. They go back out in Powder's Field. They dump the bodies behind the prison somewhere in the field. That's where they go.
So
you don't know. That's what they do.
Here's something else now. Mr. Beats. We talked about him last week, I believe.
Who's
now
that?
He's being sued.
Oh, the guy, the YouTube phenom guy. What's his name?
Yeah,
Beast, Mr. Beast. Yeah,
are now being sued by game contestants for alleged issues like sexual harassment, unpaid overtime and wages, lack of meal and rest breaks.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours on you.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Again, if people would just realize that they created most of their misery in their life, you can't blame people. Now, I met a couple guys. I met 2 doctors that were locked up with it that were straight innocent. They were straight, but they were part of a group that was stealing money, overbilling shit. The feds, they got no filter. They locked a doctor up, a successful doctor from Miami. This guy was a guy that didn't even swear. He talked to his mom. He was 60-something years old, talked to his mommy and daddy every day from the jail. Every day it was about his mommy and daddy. They thought he was the fucking flamingest guy in the world. And I used to say, what's wrong with him talking to his parents, man? He loves his parents. And they go, oh, shut the fuck up. I said, no, you shut the fuck up. Please. I stuck up for the guy. The guy came up to me. He's scared to death. He said, thank you. I go, just ignore them fucking douchebags. So I didn't give a fuck. I had my respect. So when I spoke, just like they spoke to me, it got cut off there. I could tell someone to shut the fuck up and not have no repercussions. They could tell someone to shut the fuck. It's like, leave the guy alone, man. The guy's you could see he's scared to death. You could see the way he sit alone in the corner. The guy was scared to death. So I became his friend. I go, Doc, don't worry about it. And he's a hair doctor. He said, you ever come to Miami? When I get out of here, I guess he gets to get his license. But he said, I'm free for the rest of your life. I fix you if you ever get bald spots. He found the bald spots, and he was a specialty where he put implant hair in your head to grow again. That's what he did. So he said, he goes, well, he evaluated me. He goes, well, you got a little baldness here, maybe down the road. So come and see me when I get out. Make an appointment, look me up. And George was his name, and I forgot. I got his last name. His name is Dr. George, I call him. Nicest guy. But then we found out. They go, your buddy that you like is a snitch. He ratted on all the other doctors. That didn't make me happy. But I guess because he was innocent, he was scared. And so for me, I gave him a pass. He didn't hurt nobody but doctors. He put the whole group of doctors in prison. And then the little old guy that was 80 years old almost, that was a twig, who walked around with 100 fucking jackets on, begging for vegetables. He was a doctor in Fort Myers, successful rich doctor for 40 years that gave scripts to all the rich people. And the feds came in and said, bye. There's no filter with them. They don't give a fuck who you are, how much money you got. You understand? They take all your money. They destroy your families. They take your homes. They don't care. Fuck with the government, and they will come and get you. You have freedom of speech to speak of them. And I'm going to go out with this, Lou. We're going to end this with this. Is you make your choices and you shape your life the way it is for each and every one of us. Some are fucking idiots. Some are fucking successful. Some are just poor. Some are good people. Some are scumbags. It happens every day in life. We're all equal. We all put our pants leg through the fucking leg. We all shit. We all bleed. We all die. Have a nice night. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. I love you, Rug Fugly. This gets dedicated to you. Doom, hello. Mike Shitty and I, thank you. Everybody, Articulate John, Stephen Bull, everybody that's here. I'm not going to go through the list. You guys know who you are. I love you guys. Thank you, Lou. Hit it out, Joe. See you later.
We'll see you tomorrow morning, guys.